because we have this dominated record of calling the elections first, and this is where you have seen it, and you can say that because no other network or channel can boast of such a facility. So right here you can see these are our volunteers who are sitting across at the live result hub. These are the phones that our reporters will call and in fact talk about when the first tally really starts to trickle in, when the first vote is cast and when the result gets announced. The first vote, that's where you see the call come in, and it is then represented here, and that's how it gets seen on the broadcast. So it happens here first, and you can see our volunteers, you're spread across. The Battle of Bihar has begun, and as we all know, when it is about exit polls, it's very difficult to predict Bihar. So we have to rely on the ultimate source. And we have our network of reporters, a battery of reporters that are spread across all the constituencies, all the districts, and they continue to call here. The moment the first ballot is cast, the moment, I beg your pardon, the first result is announced, it gets seen here. And we will tell you first, because here's where
in charge? Griha, who is in charge?
I just also want to make the point, Griha, and you can weigh in on this as well. Other channels, from 8 o'clock, you're going to see them run away with the numbers. It'll go to 50, 100 within a few minutes. We're not doing that because we've got a reporter, a resource in every one of the 243 constituencies. Every single one of the 243 constituencies, they'll be calling in to this live result hub, which will be fed into our system, and then it'll automatically populate across
Absolutely.
all.
We verify it first. We verify it first before we show it on the big screen where you all are. And we don't want to run with the numbers, and we don't want to fill our screens. We want to rely on the absolute numbers, and that's what these representatives are sitting here for. And there you can see, this is how it is seen here. The moment the first vote is announced is when these things start ringing. And that's when it's seen on the screen.
Yeah, the first leads. So what we'll see is the early leads that will come in, because our representatives, not just the constituencies, but also posted at the counting centers. And from inside the counting centers, we'd get information that will be relayed in real fast time, and it's going to be the same set of numbers across the network. That's what you would see. Even on connected TV, YouTube, as you're watching us live, be rest assured that you will have the correct numbers here on CNN News 18. So now coming back to this conversation that we were having about the voter, the rural factor. Nalin, you wanted to make a point. Yeah, go ahead.
I was making a point that we have seen what the Mahila scheme did in Maharashtra and in Haryana. Now in Bihar, this is even much more important, because while Bihar's growth rate has been all right, it is much lower than even the other Bimaru states. And Bihar is a state which has virtually got no private sector investment, just about $200 million of FDI last year. So in a state like that, but contrast that with the social sector spending. It's almost half of its revenue receipts are spent on social sector spending. Therefore, in a state like Bihar, this has a far more resonance than in more developed states like in Haryana or in Maharashtra.
So on the youth factor, everybody was talking about the youth factor. We looked at the top 10 districts in Bihar from where youth go away as migrant labor to other states. And we plotted that on the magic wall. It walks up to, again, about 100 seats, 97 out of 243. There too, in a close election like we saw in 2020, the NDA had almost 60 and the India Alliance had 40. So it's almost like a 2:3 ratio. The vote share gap is also about 1.5%, 1.4% or so, 1.5% or so. Again, it comes back to who do they trust to solve this employment problem. Tejashwi, this is his second election where it's either against him or for him, the vote. And he's the young man, he's the challenger, he's the guy who's saying, I'll give you the jobs, or, 3 crore government jobs, so on. But I don't see evidence of that even with the youth vote.
Amidst all of this, we've been talking. Prashant Kishore. No, we've been talking about Tejashwi, we've talked about Nitish, we've talked about Prashant Kishore. With all this, it's amazing that we're not talking about Prime Minister Modi. We're not talking about the Modi factor. The fact that he actually was in Bihar when he said that Pahalgam will be avenged. It was in Bihar that he announced that we will not let them. So Operation Sindoor, and after Operation Sindoor, one of the first visits was back in Bihar where he said, listen, I said we will avenge it and this is what we have done. So that factor, jo kahega wo karke dikhayega, that trust factor. And is PM Modi's factor now just there, all encompassing, not right into the fore because it's an assembly election and you've realized that you need to have a local face in Bihar because Bihar's unique combination and Nitish being fulcrum to it. But can we forget PM Modi and can we forget the work the BJP Sangh is doing? This is their 100th year. So the Sangh would also want to return a 100% score, and they are going to be doing their work on ground, not actively campaigning for the BJP, but at least ensuring people come out to vote. Yes, sir. Yes.
Given the fact that the BJP and the JDU contested an equal number of seats, and if you look at the BJP campaign, its candidates' campaign, the clear focus was on the Prime Minister's leadership. They kept on making the point that look at how BJP ruled states are functioning, look at how the center is doing things. We want to bring the same in the state. The JDU, on the other hand, focused on the chief minister. So that was a very interesting campaign. One focusing on the chief minister within the same alliance. One focusing on the chief minister, one focusing on the prime minister.
Right.
And
yeah.
So with the Prime Minister, I feel it's been 10 years. I think there is no longer a need for even the party to prove why you need a Modi-run government. Like, I think it is so established and it is so ingrained that that work is, absolutely not required anymore. And I think people of the country feel that as long as Prime Minister Modi is there, people feel
So this
sort of
Modi hai to
safer.
mumkin hai is now an established factor. It doesn't need to be established, is what you're saying. So that's
I would
underlined.
say it's a contributory factor. I think, if you look at Modi mandate in Bihar, it's a little problematic in the same event of if there is an unexpected defeat. Would we say this is a defeat of Narendra Modi? No. It will be put at the doorstep of Nitish Kumar. He was too old.
But the factor of Modi remains. Even now, the victory is with Nitish Kumar. The biggest champion and perhaps the tallest face that will emerge out of this result will be Nitish Kumar. Going across to Shivani. Shivani is joining us live from Patna, right outside the Bihar Assembly. Early start, Shivani. You got a great setup there. You got people around you. Over to you.
Thanks a lot for that. Good morning to all of you in the studios. I'm joining you from our studio outside the Bihar Legislative Assembly. Let me just show our viewers around the setup that we have here. A lot of our guests from local parties also joining us, and I'll get you the mood that is prevailing in Bihar first up. Here, everyone is talking about whether there can be any ruckus on ground because of the kind of warnings that the RJD has given. There is already greater security that has been put out. There is a message by the local administration to every person that if you see anything going wrong, if you have concerns, then dial our numbers. Don't take matters into your own hands. There is security that has been extended or increased around all of the polling station, all of the counting stations, 46 of them. Even outside the Chief Minister's residence, security has been increased. So that's the kind of start that we're having here in Bihar. But through the day, we're going to get you all of the reactions that you need to hear as the pouring in. At AM, ballot boxes are going to be opened, but it's going to be postal ballots that are going to be counted first. There's been an ominous warning from RJD and Tejashwi Yadav saying that if the voting goes slow, if the counting goes slow, then they will suspect that something is going wrong. I have the RJD representative with me. ये जो RJD बार-बार बात कर रही है कि अगर काउंटिंग स्लो हो गई तो लोग सड़क पे आ जाएंगे, इसकी क्या जरूरत है?
देखिए, आपने देखा होगा 2020 के बिहार विधानसभा चुनाव में और काउंटिंग को स्लो कर दिया गया था 4 घंटे के लिए। जब देखा कि राष्ट्रीय जनता दल महागठबंधन की सरकार बनती नजर आ रही है, उनके पक्ष में जबरदस्त रुझान आ रहा है, एक सोची समझी साजिश के तहत शासनादेश के बल पर चुनाव आयोग ने इस तरह का खेला करने का काम किया और जिसके कारण आप देखेंगे 2 दर्जन से अधिक राष्ट्रीय जनता दल महागठबंधन के उम्मीदवार चुनाव जीत चुके थे, उसे एक सोची समझी साजिश के तहत हराया गया, कहीं 12 वोट से, कहीं 100।
तो आज अगर आप कह रहे हैं कि आप रिजल्ट आपके मुताबिक नहीं आए तो क्या करेंगे आप?
नहीं, रिजल्ट देखिए, मेरा यही निवेदन है आपके चैनल के माध्यम से कि जो काउंटिंग प्रक्रिया है वो स्मूथली और पारदर्शी तरीके से हो।
ठीक है, so there is of course video monitoring that is going on. There is increased security that has also been established. BJP representative is also with me. एक तरह से RJD का कहना है कि रिजल्ट, कल तेजस्वी का जो बयान आया, उन्होंने कहा हमारे लिए वोट हुआ है, लेकिन अगर हमें लगा कि काउंटिंग सही से नहीं हो रही है तो जनता अपने हाथ में लेगी मैटर्स को। तो आप इसको कैसे देखते हैं जो वार्निंग आई है? देखिए, वो 2020 के इलेक्शन को भी कह रहे हैं कि लूट लिया था बीजेपी ने और इस बार भी वही कोशिश होगी।
देखिए, उनका हताशा निराशा है क्योंकि चुनाव उनके पक्ष में हुआ नहीं। बिहार की जनता ने 13 करोड़ जनता ने मोहर लगाया नीतीश कुमार जी के नेतृत्व को, देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व पे। जो हमने संकल्प लिया था लगातार, उस संकल्प है। और बिहार में विकास की गंगा बह रही है। आप बिहार कान से सुनने वाला बिहार नहीं रहा, आंख से देखने वाला बिहार हुआ। आप आए होंगे, पटना एयरपोर्ट देखा होगा।
नहीं तो अभी आज अगर काउंटिंग ये कह रहे हैं स्लो हुई तो क्या होगा? आपको क्या लगता है कि राजद के लोग क्या करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं?
ये राहुल गांधी जी के भाई हैं। ये मुद्दा खोज रहे हैं, चुनाव हार रहे हैं, मुद्दा खोज रहे हैं। कोई तो बहाना चाहिए, ठीकरा तो चाहिए किसी पे फोड़ने के लिए, इसीलिए ये लोग कर रहे हैं। इनके पास कोई मुद्दा ही नहीं था, ना नेता था, ना नियत था, ना निष्ठा था। लेकिन बिहार की जनता ने नेता नीतीश कुमार जी को माना, देश के प्रधानमंत्री को माना। एक बात और मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, प्रधानमंत्री का सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, सबका प्रयास और बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री जी का निश्चय था। पार्ट 1, पार्ट 2, पार्ट 3।
वो इलेक्शन देख लिया।
देखिए, मतगणना पारदर्शी होनी चाहिए।
क्यों नहीं होगी पारदर्शी? आप क्यों मानते हैं कि क्यों नहीं होगी पारदर्शी? जो रिजल्ट होगा आप मानेंगे या नहीं मानेंगे? अगर आरजेडी 5 सीट से पीछे रह जाती है तो आप मानेंगे या नहीं?
बता रहा हूँ, सीट अलग चीज है, जीत हार अपनी जगह है, लेकिन मतगणना पारदर्शी तरीके से होनी चाहिए। बिहार लोकतंत्र
आपके एजेंट है ना अंदर?
अगर लोकतंत्र
Okay, Shivani will come back to you as and when there's more developments there. I just want to, our guests here in the studio were talking about the Modi factor. If you look at it, again, we're looking at 2020 result. It was a much closer election. Modi had 90 constituencies that he covered in the rallies. I think 13 or 14 rallies he did in Bihar this time around. It adds up to about 94 constituencies. Something fascinating here, even though the NDA was ahead in all of those seats, 49 to 43 of the India Alliance, in vote share, it was the India Alliance which was more than the NDA. It was about less than, 0.5%, but it was still ahead in terms of vote share. And the reason for that is because the RJD's vote is a very concentrated vote. Even in the last time, this alliance that they had with the CPI-ML, particularly in southern Bihar and in central Bihar, that seemed to have clicked for them because it's a highly concentrated vote. The problem for the RJD is in the northern part of the state, what they call Mithilanchal, and of course here again in Seemanchal, where the election gets polarized because there's a higher percentage of Muslim population here. The BJP has done in what is called the north of the Ganga seats, whereas in the southern part of the state, it was the RJD, CPI-ML, Congress alliance which did better. This time, will it be like this? Will it be different in any form or fashion? We'll have to wait and see.
But just go back to 2015 in the same set and see what was the NDA's vote share in 2015. If you were to look at 2015,
the India's vote share was 12% more, although the seats were neck and neck.
Seats were neck and neck,
but the vote share was substantially higher. But again, that's a different election because RJD and JDU were together in 2015. This time they're not.
This time they were not. So, because usually Pradhan Mantri goes to campaign in those seats which are tough. The tough seats is where he needs to rally up and get more votes and pull more votes. That's where the Pradhan Mantri's vote share is or votes are. So if in 2020 he was in these pockets, was it to take away a certain level of the RJD votes and continue to pull because these were tough seats? We have to wait and watch. We have to see how that works. Yes.
So of course in any state election, CM face and national leaders matter. Modi pulls up vote for the BJP and much more in national elections than state elections. And I think let's not just focus on Narendra Modi, we should also talk about Rahul Gandhi and the kind of discoordination.
We can look at Rahul Gandhi.
Yeah. Because see, the point is this, where whatever sort of discomfort the NDA alliance had, it was not public. Whereas the discomfort within the India alliance in Bihar was public in a way that they are fighting on 11 seats, what they call friendly fight. They took so much time to sort of give symbols to the candidate that on the last day, people didn't know who their candidate was going to be. And there was a fight who's going to be the CM face. And Rahul Gandhi was there 2 months before the sort of
and for a good 2 months he
and so
disappeared.
Rahul Gandhi and Tejashwi's campaign in that sense ran in some ways orthogonal, right? And
not just that, how could of the VIP and announce him as the Deputy Chief Minister and he just fell by the wayside during the campaign. You sidelined him totally. You just made him sit there and you benched him. You said you're the DCM face and you benched him. Why would you do something like that? That's a far greater insult.
Anand, on this Modi factor, Zaka, I was looking at the numbers and the numbers that you showed for 2020, if you map them on the 2024 thing, elections, you will find that the NDA
Nalin, just hold on, we got pictures, action.
Seats.
Lalu Prasad Yadav is moving out of his house. Arun Singh is joining us with the details. Yes, Arun. Ji.
2024. but it's,
Arun, namaste.
I mean, the seats are.
Arunima is also with us. Arun, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है? लालू प्रसाद यादव अपने घर से निकले हैं. आवाज आ रही है आपको? All right, we go to Arun Singh in a bit. Arunima is also there. Arunima is at the JDU office where posters have been put up. So let's go back to Arun. Yes, Arunima.
So the Badhai poster is already up here. The counting, the postal ballot counting will begin in just a few minutes. But already, पूरे बिहार वासियों को हार्दिक बधाई. This poster has come up outside the JDU office, and if you pan a little bit, you see the policemen, the men and women in khaki, have also now started coming to the JDU office. Is this because the election commission-led administration is worried after all the threats that came in from the RJD? Even though RJD continues to say that it should be peaceful, but the spokesperson putting up a photograph in her hand, another spokesperson talking about 20,000 log पहुंचे हर counting center पे. Is that the cause of worry? Because just a short while back there was no police deployment, but now policemen and women are coming up. And JDU office, the center of so much attention because of this another poster that has come up. This says Tiger Abhi Zinda Hai. This poster has become a talk of the town here because this is like JDU's response to Tejashwi Yadav, who kept asking if Nitish Kumar is mentally agile, if he's physically fit, if he's in a position to continue to govern Bihar for the next 5 years. So Tiger Zinda Hai ya nahi, we'll know in about 15 minutes from now when counting begins.
Right. They've also
but JDU Karyakartas definitely are upbeat.
Poster wars have gotten underway. One says सावधान 20,000 कार्यकर्ता हर काउंटिंग सेंटर पर. The other one says बस कुछ घंटों का इंतजार, फिर से आएगी सुशासन सरकार. टाइगर अभी जिंदा है, बूढ़ा शेर और भी खतरनाक होता है. These are all conversations that are happening because jibes have been taken. बूढ़े हो गए हैं आप, आपसे नहीं हो पा रहा है. You can't have your fact. Nistula Ibar, good morning. So upping up the Mahila quotient in the studio. Fantastic.
Always a good thing.
Always a good thing. Always a good thing.
When this election is going to be decided by the M factor, then why not, right?
See, the MY also changes. No, Muslim Yadav to Mahila Yuva. Bihar ka pura yahi change ho jayega. Political lexicon will change. But how would you see Nitish Kumar? And what would you want to surmise at the end of these, as the dust settles in a few hours from now?
Well, this is the last election for the progeny of the JP movement. After this, I think 2030, I don't think we're going to see. It's going to be a completely different set, cohort group of leaders who we are going to see in the fray. And as I said earlier also, many times on this on this set itself, this is an election where the people of Bihar had to decide whether or not they're going to give a nice little farewell into the sunset for Nitish Kumar or not. Because there were all sorts of speculations about his health and whether or not the BJP will now let him remain chief minister, will they change him mid-stride. So a lot will depend on how the sentiment of his voters, a very formidable constituency that he has built up, whether they will say no, we make one last stand for him, not just we will vote him back, we will give him a competitive score against his own ally, so that there is no question on the issue of chief ministership. So that is where the election actually
lies.
5 minutes.
JDU,
just 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go before the counting
once
centers
again, for
open.
our viewers, first the Election Commission has put this out that they will be counting postal ballots. That's going to be that's going to take time because that's physical. You have to count it physically, and then the EVMs open. So for the first half hour or so, you will see the postal ballots reflecting. So please be aware once again, the other channels are going to be fudging their numbers in the first few minutes. Please don't believe them. The real results from the live result hub here on CNN News 18. I want to just quickly add to this Nitish Kumar factor. In an election where he did badly last time around, where the JDU won just 43 seats, it was a number 4 party. There are 24 of those seats which the JDU has never lost in the last 3 elections. In fact, more than half of the seats that the JDU won last time in a bad election were those seats which they've never lost in the last 3 elections. So the JDU has a base from where they're starting off. And this time around, and remember last time it was Chirag Paswan who spoiled Kumar's chances in about 30 seats, 32 seats is what he said. So if you add 32 and 43, he would have had 75 seats. He would have been the single largest party.
See, imagine in the NDA, outside of the JDU and the BJP, he has actually garnered a huge bulk of seats. Ham Party and Jitan Ram Manji have been quite literally sidelined and said, "Jitna hai, utna mein aapka strike rate improve kariye." But for him to get 29 seats, does he really merit that? And will that be a test of the Paswan legacy and also Chirag Paswan? Because Pashupati Paras is now on the other side. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Because he is, in some ways, Chirag Paswan so far in assembly elections have not won seats in double digits. Right, last time he was an insurgent, before that he wasn't part of any coalition. So in some ways, this would be a test case for him. Can he get seats in double digits? He's contesting 29. He does well in Lok Sabha elections, but that's mostly family members contesting, and then it's a national election where people are voting for Prime Minister Modi. It is being said that Chirag Paswan is really popular across Bihar. He has been called to campaign. Whether he can get his own party elected on sort of like sizable number of seats or not, that would be a
no. When he got 29 seats, I think more consternation inside the NDA than in the opposition. Many people in the NDA felt he didn't deserve 29 seats. We'll see how much he converts that.
You have 80 seconds to answer. 80 seconds. 80 seconds you have to answer.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, as I said
80
earlier,
seconds, you are starting the countdown.
As I
80
said
seconds.
earlier, this time NDA has actually fought as a really, united alliance.
Yeah.
BJP has put in money even where in the alliance seats, so, that may offset this 20.
JDU people in fact told me that in the run-up to the polls, even before the seat adjustment had been announced, they had a series of meetings from bloc to major rallies with the PM of all the NDA constituents. Those meetings, especially at the seat level, have really helped them,
Yeah,
so because there are a lot of
because
problems.
Zaka in Bihar, Paswans basically collaborate. They don't assert. So there is a 19% Dalit vote there, but unlike Uttar Pradesh, there is no assertiveness, political assertiveness, and therefore this collaboration helps, and that results in the kind of seats that LGP is able to get.
Okay.
Right, another 35 seconds. Anybody wants to chip in? Yes.
We'll continue the Modi factor. There was an earlier number thing over there that he comes and campaigns on the tough seats. I think after Karnataka Assembly, there's been a change of thinking that overexposure is not required. There is an established trust, but where he campaigns, you can see a clear conversion of the Modi factor.
The one person whose campaign made a lot of dhamaka with Appu Pappu Tappu, that we have not even spoken about. That is Yogi. The impact that Yogi's campaign, because he came late in and it was a huge cameo. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there you go. It's 8 a.m. Counting will get underway as the counting centers will be opened. Counting begins on Result Day Live, Bihar 2025. Which way will the voter cast their mandate and give their mandate to? Will it be pro-incumbency, massive pro-incumbency vote for Sushasan Babu, Nitish Kumar, or will it be time for change, Badlav ki Sarkar and Tejashwi coming to the fore, emerging out of the shadows of Lalu Prasad Yadav? We'll have to wait and watch, but it's a big fight. It's two big Gathbandhans, the NDA and the MGB. The two national parties are going to play.
So we should have breaking saying counting has begun. Counting has begun, and again it will be the postal ballots for about the first half an hour or so, and then the EVMs are desealed. But counting has officially begun, ladies and gentlemen, for these 243 constituencies. Is it NDA? Is it India Alliance? Counting has officially begun. Let's have that breaking story.
The counting begins for the Bihar verdict. We've got the breaking up and. It's a matter of time. The first 20 minutes to half an hour will be postal ballots, so you will see early leads, but those early leads are postal ballots. They'll be manually counted. It's when the EVM boxes open at the counting centers, that's when the results will start trickling in. Griha is ready at the live result hub. We'll go to her the moment we have the first set of leads coming in. Quickly going to Pallavi, how many counting centers and where will the focus be? Pallavi.
Well, I'm still right over here at the Sheikhpura house, and the Prashant Kishore team is already in place. They're just going to wait for figures to start coming in, and as you pointed out, the postal ballot, in any case, is the first round to go. But I would look at this election and the counting really, Anand, as a high stakes for everyone. But naturally, for the CM already, Nitish Kumar, many people would dismiss him off as being not in good health. At least his opponents did. I think the sense I get on the ground, of course, is that he's likely to do even better than before. That anger which people are talking about was certainly missing. It's not a wave election. election, you know. So in that sense, I think his campaign style has been very mellow, very mature and extremely stable. But at the same time being very assertive. For the BJP, of course, you know, they've thrown their top talents out all. That's the way they do
There must be
elections.
something that you
No
know
one is
that we
talking
don't,
about the
Pallavi,
Congress
that
party,
you're
which is
still
what
at
strikes me,
Jansuraj
Anand.
party because and that Prashant Kishore, will he step out to say that the Jansuraj got a certain percentage of vote but no seats at all? He's not playing kingmaker. What way the results? The exit pollsters haven't given him the king.
No, they have not. They've in
haven't.
fact said that he'll get anywhere between 0 to 2 seats, which for someone who is making a splash, I think is quite subpar. But Griha is joining us from the live result hub. Where are we expecting the first leads to come from, Griha? Where are we expecting the first leads to come from and by when?
Is that for me, Zaka?
Yeah, which region, which part of
So-
Bihar are you expecting the first leads to come
Okay,
from?
we will get that word in from Hemant ji here because the result hub has started buzzing because we have got to know that the postal ballots will be announced very soon. Hemant ji, सबसे पहले कहाँ से रुझान आने की उम्मीद है?
देखिए सबसे पहले रुझान जो हम देख रहे हैं कि पटना से जब रिपोर्टर ने कॉल किया था कि वहाँ पे बोला कि हमने पोस्टल बैलेट काउंट स्टार्ट करेंगे, वी विल स्टार्ट द पोस्टल, बट वी आर जस्ट वेटिंग. We have the two team is monitoring about the postal ballot. So we have made the two begin with either through SMS or phone call. We'll get the first result. So if we get the phone call, the phone will buzz here.
How many counting
SMS,
centers
we
have been
the
set
one
up this
team,
time?
so
There
we
were
will enter the
90,000
data.
polling booths. Griha, just asking
so
how many
almost
counting
I am
centers?
thinking the 5-10 minutes.
Hemant ji, how many? 46 counting centers?
We
How
have the
many?
46 counting centers. Is the after 38 districts, we have the 46 are the counting centers. We have deported 100 members in the counting center. Here we have the 50. Altogether, you can say the 150 members are there to give the right result.
So 150 members there, end-to-end data that will be collated and it will be fed here, and that's when you see it on the screen.
So there
like
are-
Zaka, you were mentioning, it is not going to be fudging of numbers. We are not going to be trying to go first on this. The moment we see the first authentic leads come in from those counting centers, as our reporters call our representatives here at
here's
the
what-
live
here-
result
yeah.
hub, is when we see the numbers
Yeah,
on screen.
absolutely. 46 counting centers, viewers. 46 counting centers. The counting centers open at 8. Then they go in and then they will start counting the postal ballots. There are 150 of our members at these 46 counting centers who will be getting us these results. So the moment you see the leads starting to trickle in here, that means the leads have really started coming in, because that's where we are getting this live right from the source back into our live result hub and then across the network. Arun Dhanta is with us from the BJP office in Patna. Arun, are you the only person now, or have you done breakfast and are the Karyakartas already there? You're the first person at the BJP Karyalaya this morning.
Well, Anand, as counting gets underway here in the BJP office, preparations have also started. We are inside one of the tents which they have made. And in fact, you can see right behind me, chairs have been placed and there is a screen also. In a few minutes from now, they will of course be starting this television screen, and you will see these chairs will be filled up. On that side also, dishes are being cleaned by, as we were discussing earlier, that the people will come here to really start preparing for the breakfast and the sweets also. I can also smell something is cooking on the other side. We'll give you that scene also, what is happening at the back of the BJP office. This is the place where you will see all the food is being cooked and mithais, etc. for all those people who will be coming here in a short while from now. You can see, I'll request my camera person, Pramod Saklani, to just go there and show what exactly is happening. Yes.
So
I mean, they've started cooking, they've started, the preparations are done, food is being cooked here. So in a short while from now, you will see, क्या बना रहे हैं, क्या बन रहा है?
सर अभी तो चाय चल रहा है सुबह से, फिर नाश्ता में घुगनी, चूड़ा फ्राई.
अरे वाह जी, आज जिस तरह से जो भाजपा के लोग बाहर
चाय घुगनी चूड़ा
जीतने का जश्न के लिए तैयार है, तो आप लोग क्या कर रहे हैं?
हाँ सर, जीतने की तैयारी में लगे हैं. खाना मिठाई उठाई सब बन रहा है यहाँ तो, जगह अलग अलग बन रहा है, बहुत जगह से बन के भी आ रहा है मिठाई
जी. मिठाई बनाने का बोला गया है,
तो ज्यादा ऑर्डर है, कोई गिनती नहीं है मिठाई का कि कितना बनेगा, बहुत ज्यादा ही ऑर्डर है, हो चुका है मिठाई का.
So lots of orders, lots of cooking, chai, gugni, chura, that's a traditional Bihar breakfast. On the one side there is pakode and samosa being made. There's a lot that's on store, and who will savor not just the food but also the sweet taste of victory, viewers. That's where we are going to focus on. Tejashwi has also spoken again. Let's listen in.
जीत होने वाली है। बाहर चलिए, हम लोग जीत रहे हैं। बहुत शुभकामनाएं आप लोगों को। बदलाव होगा, बदलाव होगा, बदलाव होने जा रहा है, बदलाव होने जा रहा है। चलिए, सरकार बना रहे हैं।
चलिए, हम लोग जीत रहे हैं, बदलाव होगा, बदलाव होगा, सरकार बना रहे हैं। टोनुआ थोड़ा ऑफ लग रहा है।
Is it?
नहीं, आपको नहीं लगा? You didn't feel the tone is a little off?
I think he's speaking from inside the car and too many mics.
No, you know, the confidence level, the way you would, or you think, is this convincing? Is this the Tejashwi that we know?
I wouldn't read too much into it. It's early in the morning. He has campaigned for a month. He must be tired. So, yeah, let's wait.
Why is it that suddenly we see everybody hedging their bets here?
As much his election, that this is the second time that he's going to be the face, the challenger, the one who wants to de-seat.
It's much more his election than Nitish Kumar.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, in Nitish's case, it's probably his last election.
Yeah.
Whereas in Tejashwi's case, after this election, and if he doesn't win, a question is going to be asked. I mean, are you the face? Are you the one who is going to be the challenger to, dethrone?
Well, in the family party, that doesn't happen. Zaka, you look at life of Rahul Gandhi.
No, that's an exception.
No, I think in all political parties, you look at Akali Dal, you look at DMK,
All right, first set of leads. NDA has 2 leads already. Griha, yes.
You as the first lead, Dhirendra Pratap Singh. This is from the Valmiki Nagar constituency, where this lead is coming in from JDU, the first lead.
All right, Valmiki Nagar is in the West Champaran district. It's up north. Again, these are places where there's a lot of migrant labor. So, yeah, there's a second one that's come.
BJP, Lorry.
Neighboring constituency, I think it's the BJP candidate. So 2 leads to the BJP so far. So 2 leads to the NDA so far, 1 to the JDU and 1 to the BJP, both from the West Champaran district. And remember, lots of migrant labor, lots of this again went to polls in the second phase where women outnumbered men quite a bit. So we'll see.
The migrant youth also in the past have favored the NDA over the RJD despite the issues that have been raised. You've called that out. There is one reason why there was silence when I asked कि ये टोनुआ थोड़ा ठीक नहीं लग रहा है. This is because the ghosts of 2015 continue to haunt.
Yes. No,
Look at Abhijit Majumdar. The ghosts of 2015 continue to haunt. Where in studios everybody called election at 9 a.m. and the results change at 11:30. That's what happened.
No, that was a different channel you're talking about. And let me tell you, I have a picture. In fact, I was on your Hindi channel in 2015. I was sitting, Badri Narayan was sitting next to me, and suddenly some other channel called it. And your anchor actually put a stop to it. He said, we are not doing anything like that. We're just waiting.
Yeah, we have more leads. I think we're about 5 or 6 leads now. Griha has more. Yes, Griha. Where?
All right, so we only see BJP and JDU right now. Zaka, Sapol, Bijendra Prasad Yadav from JDU, and there is Rajnagar, Sujit Kumar from BJP who's leading. As we speak, more and more leads are coming in, and it's all JDU, BJP that we see. Sujit Kumar, BJP. So Paul, it is, and now we have another RJD lead. This is the first one that's coming in for RJD. That's Saud Alam from Thakurganj, who is leading.
So not surprisingly, the first lead for RJD coming from the Simanchal region. This is, of course, like I said, again, a couple of other leads, one for the Congress. That's coming in again. All of this is in the Simanchal region, which, like I said, there is a higher proportion of Muslim population there. There was higher voter turnout as well. Last time, MIM was a big factor in Simanchal. He got 5 MLAs. All 5 of them switched over to the RJD. This time around, it seems like the Muslim vote is consolidating in favor of
the early trends also showing that the JDU is emerging, has taken a march, in terms of the single largest party as of now. 6 leads for the JDU. Griha is back with us. Yes, Griha, more.
One more for the BJP and JDU. And there's one for LJP. So from Kasba, we have an LJP candidate who is leading right now. And the leads are coming in fast now, Anand. From Digha, it's Sanjeev Chaurasia. From the BJP, there is Fulwari, Sham Rajak, JDU, who's leading. From Banki Nagar, there is another candidate who's leading. So right now, the first lead for LJP is also coming from Kasba. Nitish Kumar Singh is leading. So many leads to start. A first Congress, in fact, the second Congress lead that has been announced, Manohar Prasad Singh of the Congress from Manihari is leading. And
Quick,
there is
catching up,
another.
INDIA catching up. Now just a 5-seat gap between the NDA and the INDIA, 8 and 13. That's the score as of now.
But the thing to watch out for is this plus minus. I mean, they were 125, the NDA last time around. They're already gaining 3, now gaining 4. And the India alliance is down 3. They were 115 last time, so down 3. So keep an eye out for, who's gaining, who's losing. Now again, it's increased 14-9.
14-9, and these are trends. These are early trends. These are early trends that are being dictated by the postal ballot counting viewers. But we are getting you the numbers as we are getting it relayed from our counting centers, and that's why trust these numbers at the bottom of your screen. 15-10, a gap of 5 opened up by the NDA. RJD on 7 seats. Within the NDA, it's the JDU that is still in a march, and it's actually leading. Now the BJP is now gotten ahead. 7 and 6 within the NDA. Some seats for the other partners also.
Again, 12 leads to the India alliance. If you look at the breakup there, the Congress has 2, the RJD has 9. So RJD doing a bulk of the heavy lifting as far as the India alliance is concerned. As far as the NDA is concerned, it's neck and neck right now between the BJP and the JDU. The BJP has 7, the JDU has 6, LJP 1. We will see how this plays out through the course of the day. I think one thing is very, very clear. The southern seats, RJD doing better in the southern part of the state. Some openings in the eastern part in Simanchal, whereas in the rest of the state, it seems to be a BJP-JDU show, at least in the first 20
The trends coming from all across
yes.
phase 1 and phase 2,
phase
if you
one,
were to see.
Yes, these were the phase 1 seats. Up in the north were the phase 2 seats. And we're getting to see from different regions. We're getting from the Champaran side, we're getting from the Simanchal side, we're getting from the Magadh side as well. So it's kind of getting populated across the length and breadth of Bihar from different regions. Yes, Griha has more. Yes.
Tejashwi Yadav.
Yeah, go ahead, Griha.
Okay, it's Tejashwi who's leading from Raghopur. So the bastion right now is being maintained because testing that. RJD has many leads right now. Anand is from what we are seeing. There is one for JSP that's coming. BJP again, Prem Kumar from Gaya town, he is leading. So BJP is leading there. So far, Tejashwi is maintaining the lead as far as Raghopur is concerned.
Jan Suraj on the leaderboard in terms of trends and leads. LJP on the leaderboard in terms of trends and leads. 18 to the NDA, 15 to the INDIA. The early trends show that it could be quite close. Everybody is playing catch up with the other. But the results are plotting all across, and there's a reason why you can trust these numbers, viewers, because it's plotting on the map live. You can see it.
Yes.
It's plotting as we are telling you the leads. Whatever you're seeing at the bottom of your screen, it's plotting as per the party across the various constituencies in the region. So the Bihar map plotted across, and the constituency numbers, if you can zoom in close, you'll see the constituency numbers as Zaka is showing it on the wall.
It's neck and neck right now. It's 24 to the NDA, India Alliance at 15, but you get a feeling that the NDA is slightly pulling ahead. And there in the NDA too, if you look at the breakup between the BJP and the JDU, neck and neck, BJP at 11, JDU at 11, and I think this is going to be another sub-story as well. But just now, as we get to 40 seats out of 243, you see the NDA pulling away because a lot of the central Bihar seats, which are the JDU stronghold seats, are now beginning to report. RJD, again, a bulk of its leads seem to be in the southern part of Bihar, some constituencies in Simanchal, but the rest of the state, as I keep saying, the NDA seems to be pulling away. So as these parts of Mithilanchal start populating, these parts of Bhojpur start populating, you will see much more NDA leads. NDA now pulling away, it's almost 30 to 15. So they're going in a 2:1 sort of a ratio.
JSP has a lead.
Right, there's just one lead. That's why it's on the leaderboard. I said Jan Suraj is on the leaderboard, but 29 leads for the NDA. Let's look at the key race alerts. One of the key race alerts. Okay, we've got this. This is one of the reasons why we wanted it to be plotted here to my right. The magic wall. We've really brought it up so that you can zoom in and you can see that as the plotting happens, it's happening per constituency. Each of these constituencies, get in closer, show it to our viewers that on the magic wall, each of these constituencies are numbered. The constituency number is being plotted based on the color legend for the political party. So the dark blue is for the Congress party, the purple is for the RJD, the green is for the JDU, the saffron of course is for the BJP. Then there are color codes for the Jan Suraj party and the Lok Janshakti party. So according to their color codes and the legends that you're seeing at the bottom of your screen, they are being plotted live on the Bihar map as per the constituency, and that's why you can trust these numbers, viewers. Zaka's got more numbers plotting.
Absolutely, it's now pulling away much more decisively in favor of the NDA. NDA at 32, India Alliance at 20, again gain of 8. So from 125, they're already looking at 130 plus for the NDA. Again, if you look at the breakup, it's neck and neck last time I checked. Now the BJP slightly ahead, 15 to the BJP, JDU 13. Remember, they're both fighting exactly the same number of seats, 101 each. Let's look at the breakup of the India alliance. There it's the RJD that's doing the heavy lifting. RJD was fighting in 140 seats. The Congress fighting in 61 seats. Congress got 3 leads. CPIML in 1. VIP has not opened its account yet. The Jan Suraj has 2 leads now. This is again very interesting. It's early leads. If the Jan Suraj gets 2, 3, 5 seats, then who will he hurt? Will he hurt NDA more? Will he hurt the India Alliance more? Right now we're seeing across all regions of Bihar, we are seeing slowly but surely more and more leads populating.
From Alinagar, Darbhanga district, Maithili Thakur is leading. From Raghopur, Tejashwi Yadav is leading. From Mokama, Anand Singh is leading. So these are the leads. Raghopur, Tejashwi Yadav, Maithili Thakur from Alinagar, 25-year-old, contesting for the first time, and she believes she'll have the people's blessings. Anant Kumar Singh, so much drama. Jail tod ke aayega, sher hamara aayega. That's the whole conversation and posters being put out for Anant Singh. Bijendra Prasad Yadav from Supal is leading of the JDU. He is also leading. So these are the early key race alerts. And then we've got Nitin Nabin from Bankipur. He is also leading of the BJP. Again, Ram Kirpal Yadav, Danapur, again leading of the BJP. Many key race alerts that are coming through. Samrat Chaudhary from Tarapur is also holding on, and he is leading as for the early trends on the postal ballot. So these are some of the key race alerts that we are getting, showing to our viewers.
I think Griha has more.
Griha's got more. Yes, let's go across to Griha. Yes, Griha.
You mentioned Samrat Chaudhary. We also have Chotilal Rai from the JDU, who is leading in Parsa. There's also Chandni Devi from RJD, Baniapur. She is leading. The star candidate, Maithili Thakur from Alinagar, like you mentioned, is leading there, Anand. We also are seeing Congress back on the leaderboard, as you have the early leads coming in from Kishanganj. Kamrul Huda is leading from the Congress. There is another one from the Congress, Amita Bhushan from Begusarai, who's leading. Otherwise, it is the allies, CPIM, you can see.
All right, let's bring it back into the studio. You can see here on the map, 65 seats now reporting. The NDA almost 40, the India Alliance at 24. So we're going in a almost 1:2 kind of a ratio, where the NDA seems to be getting from across regions, from the northern part of the state, from the central part of the state, which is of course the stronghold of the JDU. As far as the RJD is concerned, it is doing the heavy lifting for the India Alliance. If you look at the breakup of the 24 leads where they're currently leading, the RJD is leading in 18, the Congress only in 4. So the RJD is pulling a bulk of that alliance, whereas in the NDA Alliance, it is even Stevens between the BJP and the JDU. BJP at 18, the JDU at 16. The LJP has also opened its account in 4 seats, 4 leads for the LJP, the Harm in 2 seats.
Left also gets onto the leaderboard, 2 leads for the left. As we see, 41 leads for the NDA. 41 leads for the NDA. Look at the bottom of the screen. That's being updated live. This will have the one to my left will have to be refreshed a bit. But at the bottom of the screen, that's when the numbers are getting updated like they are reflecting on the magic wall. Yes, Vio.
It may be a little early, but if you start looking at the filter, look at the Mahila factor there. Again, there the NDA is leading in that at this point, and whatever we can make of it at this point.
Clearly, of the 24 of those seats, 16 to 8. So it's a 2:3. It's a 2:3 kind of a ratio. But let's look at the big picture. Almost 70 seats now reporting. NDA at 41, India Alliance at 25. The NDA seats, again, 18 to 16. The BJP, the JDU is doing catch up. Remember, the JDU was at its lowest tally last time around, just 43. The BJP neck and neck at 18, slightly ahead. Whereas in the India Alliance, and this has always been a problem, we were flagging this off even during the campaign, that it's the RJD that is having to do much of the heavy lifting. It contested 143 seats. 20 of those they are leading in currently. The Congress only 4 out of the 61. CPIML, CPM, 1 seat each. Remember, the left parties last time around, I think, put together had about 15 seats, which was again a substantial chunk.
Number.
This time, I suspect it might be lesser than that. We'll see. We'll see how it
But the left seems to be pulling its weight more than the Congress is even again. So it's weaker. It's looking, Congress is actually looking weaker despite all these rallies. So was someone barking up the wrong tree in terms of the real issue on ground? We'll have to wait. These are just trends. Yes, Sandeep.
The seat, the party, there seems to be a very close race between the RJD, the JDU and the BJP. have a similar number of seats
Yeah.
where they have the lead. The difference is coming because in the India alliance, it's only the RJD which is taking the alliance forward, whereas in the NDA, both the BJP and the JDU are doing well. So that's contributing to this huge difference.
Yeah, there is. It is very clearly there is a Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli kind of a combination which are batting in partnership within the NDA, and we could see that the BJP for some time was the single largest party. The RJD might just have taken that lead as with 21 leads overall. The BJP is at 20 leads, so the RJD currently is the single largest party. JDU playing catch up, 20, 19, 21. Not much separates these three parties, and is it between these three and the rest are just sitting marginalized? That's what it looks like right now.
78 seats are reporting now out of 243. NDA with a runaway lead, 46. Remember, this will get closer. This will get closer for the next couple of hours or so. NDA with 46. You look at the breakup there. The JDU is now leading the BJP. The JDU at 21, the BJP at 20. It's neck and neck. LJP has opened its account with 3, Ham with 2, and Mr. Kushwaha's party leading in 2. In the India alliance, it's the other way around because it's the RJD that is doing the heavy lifting. Yes, Griha, walk us through that you're getting. Yes.
We have the RJD candidate Mukesh Ranjan who is leading. So that is the big update that's coming in. So from Mahua, there's the RJD lead that has come in. Bijendra Chaudhary from Muzaffarpur. This was where the first ballots were started to be counted, Zaka. Bijendra Chaudhary right now from Congress is leading. From Mahua, it's become important because it's Mukesh Ranjan from the RJD. If we see further, from Betia, it's Renu Devi of the Bharatiya Janata Party who is leading currently. Raniganj, it's Ashmit Rashidevi from JDU. So it's JDU and BJP right now taking the lead there. But important update that's coming in from...
Tej Pratap is trailing. Also, can you tell me, Griha, which are the constituency numbers of the JSP seats? Which are the 2 seats where Prashant Kishore's party seems to be leading currently?
Just give us the...
All right, now 84 seats reporting, 53 to the NDA. 29 to the India alliance. And again, I keep going back. If you look at the map, the southern seats, the RJD seems to be doing okay. Yes, the CPI and the CPI-ML did particularly well last time around. They are not doing as well this time. The JDU, which was the laggard last time around, is doing phenomenally well. In fact, it is neck and neck, if not slightly ahead. In fact, the JDU is 1 ahead of the BJP, 24 to JDU, 23 to the BJP. So the JDU is really pulling this alliance ahead, something it could not do last time around. The India alliance, the opposite story, like I keep saying, it is purely on the back of the RJD. 20 leads to the RJD, only 6 to the Congress, and the CPI-ML, CPI, CPM in 1 lead each. Again, the left will have a role to play. Last time they did add extra weight as far as the India alliance is concerned. Look at the breakup of the NDA. The JDU again running away. The JDU has 25. The BJP has 24. Remember, 24 out of this 25, the JDU has not lost in the last 3 elections. The BJP currently leading in 24. So all of the NDA alliance partners have opened their account, and pretty healthy sort of start. The LJP, remember, had only 1 seat last time around. He had fought in more than 100 constituencies. This time he's already got 3 leads.
Yeah, but 3 out of 29 in terms of the overall seats that they have. This time they have candidates, and about 85 candidates of the LJP are in the fray, if my memory serves me right. Interestingly, the most number of crorpatis who are contesting are from the RJD. In this overall lot, and about 40%, nearly 1,016 out of the 2,300 odd candidates are all crorpatis. So the maximum number of crorpatis are contesting from the RJD and also from others or independent groups. So quite interesting, these numbers, and also most number of criminal cases in terms of, that's also a hefty number in the high 30s in terms of the number of people who've got criminal cases against them, and some of them serious criminal cases. Nearly 600 candidates have serious criminal charges against them, who are all in the fray this time. Who will the Janata vote for? We have to wait and watch. Some key race alerts. Let's quickly look at some key race alerts. Who is leading, who is not leading at this point. We'll call this out here. Just pull the magic wall out and then have a look. There you go. Amrendra Kumar Pandey from Kuchai Kot, he is leading. Anant Kumar Singh, Bokama, JDU is leading. Lalan Singh was campaigning for him when Anant Kumar was sent to judicial custody. Vijendra Prasad Yadav of the JDU leading. Deepa Kumari of Ham Party from Imamganj is the SC seat. She is winning. Maithili Thakur from Ali Mala and Yuva. Now, so and she is in the lead. Nitin Nabin, BJP is in the lead. Tejashwi Yadav is leading. Ram Kirpal Yadav is leading. Ram Kirpal Yadav from the BJP this time. Danapur and he is leading. Tejashwi Prasad Yadav, RJD, Raghopur leading. Last time around, they have lost the seat in the past, but there you go. Tej Pratap Yadav is trailing from Mahua. So Rabri Devi's calls to say कि बड़का बेटा को भी जिताइए. Well, is that working or not? We have to wait and watch. These are still trends. Postal ballots, EVMs have not yet opened. Vinay Bihari is leading. Samrat Chaudhary is leading from Tarapur of the BJP. He is leading. So a lot of the candidates who are in the fray, the big names, they are all taking leads and also leading from their own respective seats, except for Tej Pratap Yadav. Yes.
Look at the map, and I think suddenly the JDU is really sort of opening this up. Look at the central part of the state, which is of course a JDU stronghold, and of course the northern part, which is the BJP and JDU stronghold, the Mithilanchal and the central parts. This is where they're taking their leads. Let me just bring you up to speed with what the breakup is looking like with the NDA. Look at that. The BJP at 29, the JDU at 27. The LJP has also opened its account in 4 seats. So both of these allies are really pulling their weight. And if you look at it, the JDU in the central part of the state and some northern seats as well. The BJP, of course, has always done well in Mithilanchal as well as in the Champaran districts. Whereas if you look at the India Alliance, the problem for the India Alliance continues. It is the RJD that is pulling the weight of this alliance. 27 leads for the RJD, only 6 for the Congress. The left parties put together about 5 seats. VIP has not opened his account yet. Remember, he is the deputy chief ministerial face. He's not opened his account yet, and I think that's a problem for the India Alliance. The smaller partners are not pulling their weight.
A quick point. I mean, to add to what you were saying, some of these seats where JDU is opening up, these are seats it did not win last time. Like
Absolutely.
On the northeast corner of the state, on the eastern side, there are several seats here which at this point are gains for JDU.
So if you look at the JDU seats, again, they're winning across, the regions of the state. Of course, the central part and the eastern part, like I said, Trihut and the central part are always their strongholds, but they've also got a couple of leads up west in the Champarans. They've got one lead here in the Seemanchal region as well. Of course, these are leads. These are leads. We have to wait and see how that plays out. But right now, it's the NDA at 68 and the India Alliance at 41.
So they are stealing a march, and they have not even come to the halfway mark of the postal ballots being counted across the seats. Viewers, 111 seats as far as the leads and trends coming in. The NDA is already at 68, with the BJP at 30, leading in 30 seats, the JDU in 29. So neck and neck, both of them, I know, having a great strike rate and a run rate in terms of the way these two parties have combined within the NDA. Look at the leads as far as the INDIA is concerned, and in the INDIA, there seems to be trouble because the only person pulling their weight or perhaps running this entire cart, pushing this cart, is the RJD with 28 seats. So it's just the number 3rd party behind JDU and the BJP. But their own partner, Congress, is not pulling its weight. The left seems to be doing better than the Congress as of now. Congress is leading at 9, the left is leading in 6. Congress contesting far greater number of seats than the left overall. Yeah.
If you look at the RJD seats, a good number of the seats are here in the southern part of the state. We're looking at the Magad sort of region, central south. And you've got a couple of seats for the allies here in Seemanchal, which I keep saying is the polarized, let's say, where polarization works. You've got a couple of seats for the RJD here in the central west part of the state, again, just west of the Mithilanchal region. So whether or not these leads hold, we don't know. But the numbers here tell a very, very clear story. It's the RJD almost 30, the Congress only 9, the left parties between them 6 seats. But it's RJD that's pulling a bulk of the weight as far as this alliance is concerned. The opposite story in the NDA, where it's neck and neck between the BJP and the JDU, both of them at 30 seats each. The JDU is really opening this up. In a bit, we'll show you this map compared to 2020. In 2020, the JDU had just a few pockets here in the central part of the state. Now they're opening up in the northern part of the state, in the western part of the state, and a few seats here in Seemanchal as well, which you did not see in 2020.
Right. So viewers, you see, this is the 2025 Vidhan Sabha that he's plotted. Now this is the overall 2025 Vidhan Sabha map as it is plotting with respect to the leads. And Zaka is just saying that look at the number of light greens. If you look at the number of light greens, that's the JDU's symbol. The JDU right now is spread across the Bihar map. This was not the case in 2020. We'll come to the 2020 map. Right now, keep your eyes on the light green color. Focus on the JDU. They are spread across Bihar from the top, north to central Bihar, downwards towards South Bihar. You see the map. Now, Zaka is going to call out the 2020 and you would see where the JDU was. The JDU was there in far lesser number of seats, the light green. So clearly this time it's the JDU. Now there you see. That's the 2020 number and you see where the JDU is. The JDU is plotting.
These were here. They didn't have anything in Simanchal. They had just a couple here. They didn't have anything, in the other parts of the state, in the Mithilanchal region, as it were. A bulk of their seats were here. But if you look at the 2025 map now, and once it gets populated, you will get a better sense. Look at the various regions they're getting. They got a couple of seats here. They got a whole bunch of seats here in this Mithilanchal part. Central seats anyway are their stronghold, and they've got, I think, 4 seats here in Simanchal, which they did not have last time around. 125 reporting. Let's look at what it is right now.
We'll just go across to Griha. Right at the top of our screens, you will see the halfway mark, viewers. You will see the halfway mark, the race to the halfway mark. Right at the top of our screen, NDA is really racing towards that halfway number of 124. They are getting there faster than the INDIA. At the moment, they are at 72. They have to get up to 124. First past the halfway mark. Will it be INDIA? Will it be the NDA? Griha now joining us from the live result hub with the VVIP candidates. What's the story? Yes, Griha.
Absolutely, Anand. But before I do that, let me also give you a district-wise tally. So far, we are learning that the early leads that have come, the max. Also from Muzaffarpur, we are getting leads where the maximum amount of ballots right now are being shown to us, and also Samastipur. So these are the areas where, and Begusarai as well, these are the areas where the early leads are coming in. As far as the VVIP candidates are concerned, Anand, we do see Maithili Thakur, who is maintaining that lead from BJP from Ali Nagar. There's also the controversial candidate, Anand Kumar Singh from JDU, from Mokama. He's also maintaining the lead. Danapur, again, it's BJP. Ram Kripal Yadav maintaining the lead. Tejashwi Prasad, obviously, from Raghopur, the RJD bastion, is right now safe with the Tejashwi as the lead is maintained. Then we also see from Mahua, like we've been talking about, Mukesh Kumar from RJD is maintaining that lead. And if we see Sarai Ranjan, Vijay Kumar Chaudhary from JDU maintains. Sheila Kumari from JDU, from Pool Paras, is maintaining the lead again. And Vijendra Yadav from JDU, from Sapal, maintains the lead. Betia, again, it's BJP, Renu Devi maintaining the lead. So the female candidates are doing it for the NDA as far as they are concerned, because both Maithili and Renu Devi are leading.
All right, Griha, look at the magic wall, and we can project it on that big screen as well. 125 seats reporting right now. NDA at 76. It's a plus 14. Always pay attention to this figure. It's now gone plus 15. Remember, they were 125 last time. They're already looking at 140. If these trends hold. Look at the breakup of the NDA alliance. It's neck and neck between the BJP and the JDU. In fact, the JDU is now leading in 34 and the BJP in 32. This could be a sub-story in this election if the JDU becomes the single largest party. The LJP at 5, the RLM, Kushwaha's party at 4, Harm at 2 seats. These two parties were not happy with the fact that Chirag Paswan got 29 seats. In the India Alliance, opposite story. Look at the map. It's all purple. Purple is the color that we've given for the RJD. 32 leads for the RJD. The Congress only 9. The left parties between CPML, CPM and CPI, 6 seats they're leading in. They had 15 last time. The question is, can the RJD pull enough weight to take the rest of the alliance going forward, because the smaller partners are not pulling their weight in the NDA. Yes, go
9
ahead.
seats of the Congress party right now, the leads. Now look at where they are leading. It's parts of the Simanchal and from the corners. That's where the Congress is actually leading, but it's not plotting as thickly as it should, given the number of seats that it is contesting. That means the only person that is pulling its weight and actually doing the batting for the INDIA right now is the RJD with 32 leads, and 32 leads mirror what, and it's neck and neck with the BJP and the with the JDU. So you've got 2 strong partners on one side within the NDA, and a third one who's batting hard but is on the opposite side, that is the RJD. Most importantly, like Zaka has been saying, the story, viewers, is the performance of the JDU, the strike rate of the JDU. The moment the strike rate of the JDU goes up and the BJP holds on to its own seats or its performance from the last time, then the margin will be far greater than 124 seats or 125 seats that the JDU and NDA combined got last time. They will get to the 140, 150 number. And if this trend holds, then the NDA could just race away and this matter would be settled beyond doubt, Zaka.
Oh, absolutely. I just want to also flag off two regions that are still not reporting. Just south of Magadh, we don't have much seats reporting here, and also in this western part, just west of Bhojpur, we aren't getting as many reportings from these places. But in the other regions, and I want to flag this off again, look at the JDU colours. It's there in the northern part where they generally don't tend to do well. You've got a bunch of seats here up in the Champarans and again in the southern part. You did not see this in the 2020 map. You even have about 3 or 4 seats that they're leading in Simanchal. It may change by the end of the day, I don't know, but you didn't see this in the 2020 map. The JDU is present, pockets of green across various regions of Bihar, and I think that is the difference in this election. That seems to be
supporters of the JDU.
X-factor.
Take a snapshot of this. Take a snapshot of this. 136 leads, and the JDU is there right up with 34, single largest party at the moment, just behind the BJP. 84 leads for the NDA, 49 for the INDI. Yes, Griha is joining us from the live.
We have a word in on Kesari, RJD star candidate. He right now is trailing Anand. Choti Kumari of the BJP is right now leading from Chhapra. So the VIP candidate for RJD is not working. Kesari, Shatrughan Yadav is right now trailing from Chhapra is what we are getting in. And it's Choti Kumari of the Bharatiya Janata Party who is leading from Chhapra.
Shatrughan is not living up to his name as of now. But that's all as of now. These are all trends. These are all trends. These are all moments that people would have to say, savor, hold on, and some would hope these trends stay. Others would hope that they get reversed. Yes.
No. I was just pointing out that you seem to be haunted also by the ghosts of 2015.
No, I'm not haunted.
But early trends, what do you make of it?
The EVMs have not yet opened. So there's no point calling anything now. Yes.
Early trends, I think the most important thing I have seen is the JDU recovering ground after the fall in 2020. That is extremely significant because that will actually also decide a lot of other things on the ground and in government formation.
Rahul, quickly, and then I'll come to you.
Just continuing that point, I think there seems to be greater synergy within the alliance partner of NDA. Everyone seems to be contributing in proportion to the number of seats they are contesting. On the other hand, alliance, there was lopsided, like RJD is really big party, it was contesting 143 seats, but it seems Congress, which was the party which is contesting 60 odd seats, almost 1/5, and their performance continues to be poor.
When you delete 65 lakh voters,
I think it is very important.
Please add on. When you delete 65 lakh voters, mostly from opposition's voters, what do you expect on result day? Democracy cannot survive if the playing field is tilted even before the match begins. Hashtag SIR, hashtag vote chori. Guess who? Manikam Tagore.
Manikam Tagore is saying, but I think, Zaka, we must on a more serious note look at this as if they are postal ballot, counting is going on, postal ballot people, they have a socio-political profile, we must take cognizance of it and wait and watch.
Fair enough.
I think the picture is far from clear now.
But then you should say that to Manikam Tagore also.
I think you have a better line with him.
Yes, postal ballots, but I think what's important there, I think I'd reiterate the point being made. The NDA alliance sees two important partners actually taking the alliance forward, whereas in the case of the India alliance, it's just one party which is doing the job there. And as mentioned earlier, if JDU is leading in 36 seats, I think if you look at the map where those 36 seats are, a lot of those are seats which they actually lost in 2020 thanks to the LJP's work in those seats. So they are recovering those seats, they are doing well in those areas. And that, I think, is an important development that these...
I think when a party does well across regions, it's a sign that, the wind is behind their back.
Confidence,
The Bihar election is about arithmetic, and, you see RJD is not doing badly, 35 seats.
Yeah, of course.
It's almost single-handedly pulling the weight. But
No, there is vote chori. RJD, how is it? Is doing 65 lakh voters gone. How is RJD doing well?
Also, if these trends hold, then another very clear picture is that it's total decimation of the Congress when it comes to regional issues, right? So this will have a multiplier effect on state elections in other assembly
Listen to the local
despite
partner.
Despite yatra.
Listen to the local partner ki local ground ka mudda kya hai.
But one more point, I think, like
sir, please listen.
I'm listening and
sir.
In the like you know, a couple of months back, there was a lot of conversation about Prashant Kishore and JSP, and I think now at least that seems to be completely. The chances of them even to basically touch double digit is very, very difficult.
No, when I
I understood, but I don't want to pander into that conversation anymore.
May I say that two things I want to point out. One, that the NDA is with two big
Parties
engines.
pulling together,
The India alliance is stuck with just the RJD. But if you look at region-wise and whatever we can make of the trend right now, in the Bhagalpur belt, the NDA is sweeping at the moment. In the Bhojpur belt, sorry. In the Bhagalpur belt, they are sort of, look at that, 12-1, right?
But this is Nitish Kumar's belt. And again, I don't know the breakup between the BJP and the NDA, but you would imagine that the JDU is ahead. It's 6-4.
In the Bhagalpur belt, it's even Stevens at the moment. But in Magad, the NDA is quite far ahead at the moment.
All right. Oh, yeah, in Magad, it's 22-12. Last time it's in Magad that the RJD actually did well because of both the left parties as well as the RJD.
Bhojpur mein India aage.
Reporting a little less, but again, you know, if they are leading 99 seats across the 12-12, it's almost neck and neck.
And in Simanchal, it's also neck and neck.
Right. We've got 156, 157 leads. The NDA is just about to touch the 100 mark. Now, if you look at the halfway right above there, they're going to touch the 100 mark. Another 25 leads, 24 leads, they would breach the halfway mark. The NDA, that's where it is. At the NDA at 99, 40 for the BJP, 41 for the JDU, for the LJP. That's their best ever performance. If this 8 holds, that will be their best ever performance.
NDA is at 100.
NDA is at 100. So 100 leads this morning for the NDA. The early trend showing that the NDA is walking away, marching comfortably, leaving the opposition behind, far behind. It's not a neck and neck race, almost halfway distance, 50%, 54 for the INDIA, 100 for the 102 for the NDA. That's what the leads are at this point. 102 again, racing up to the halfway mark, faster. Viewers, right at the top of the screen, you can see this is the halfway belt, and this will keep tracking who's passed the post, 100, 102 right above the screen. I'm just pointing to right to the top of the screen, and you can see it. It's firing there. 102 leads for the NDA. 103 now, so it's increasing, really increasing. Sandeep ji.
It's 8:45, which means we must be going beyond
the EVMs will open. Just let's ask Griha. Griha, when is the EVM opening?
So
what's the update?
Has opened.
EVMs have opened. Let's break that. EVMs have opened.
JDU is the one that's leading. We have so far called 3, in fact, seats where JDU is leading. Supal, there's also Mahanagar, and there's also Rajapakar. JDU is leading from all of these 3 constituencies. Zaka.
All right. One other interesting point. You know, last time MIM did pretty well. He had 5 MLAs. This time MIM has not opened its account. Let's look at the others. Let's try and see if he's opened his account yet. I think he's opened it in one place. It's down 5 because all the 5 were MIM seats. This time I think the Muslim vote, particularly in Simanchal, seems to have gravitated towards the India alliance. They don't want to do the MIM experiment again if these leads hold.
Yes. Anybody? There was some conversation. Yes. Tell us.
No. We were just talking about the AIMIM. And I think for that, at least, one needs to give some credit to the Congress, because there was a feeling across the board that this time AIM is getting no purchase in Bihar because of huge consolidation, thanks to both the RJD and the Congress, because of the stances taken by Rahul Gandhi.
Or have the Muslim voters gone back to their traditional voter bases or who their
loyalties
were?
No, for that they need to get some confidence also.
Be it the JDU candidate, be it the RJD or Congress
they need to get some confidence also.
Or even the BJP candidate.
But also, let's also keep in mind that in the NDA, not only are the 2 big partners doing their job, the third partner also is contributing and not contributing in a negative way like last time.
Yes.
So that I think is also a crucial factor.
Last time it was just 1, but this time it's already 8. The RLM has 5, the HAM has 3. So the smaller partners, you're right, the smaller partners are also pulling their weight. Already just between these 2, they are up 13 from
13
last
seats.
time. So that's a significant jump up.
And Zaka, that VIP is not doing well. I mean,
And that
they have
VIP is
not
not
account
doing well,
and they
yes.
were offered Deputy Chief Minister post also.
No, for all that they did about Mukesh Sahni, but the moment they announced him as Deputy
He's
CM,
still
they
not
parked
opened
him.
his account. VIP is still not opened his account. It's still
He
at
was
zero.
worried that his brother, who's contesting, that they were going to buy out the candidate, and the Congress had fielded another candidate there.
Yeah, and most exit polls were actually indicating that VIP.
Importance of the LJP factor in this, because of the last time when they were fighting against, and they cut a lot of. Out 36 seats at least, they made the difference of victory and defeat
So right
for
now
the
they're
India
leading in
Alliance
8
last time.
seats. 3 seats in the southern belt, south of Magad, 1 in Bhojpur. He's also got a bunch of seats here in the eastern part of the state. These are the 8 leads that the LJP is currently in.
Yeah, interestingly, now the JDU and the BJP have opened up a lead against the RJD. RJD is less than 40 leads. The JDU is the single largest party
46.
with 46 leads.
That's
BJP
the story of
44.
the election.
RJD is at 39 leads right now. Yeah.
JDU.
All right. I mean, look at where the pockets from where JDU and BJP are getting. This part, of course, you would expect Nitish Kumar, but this part, the Mithilanchal part, you don't necessarily expect him to do well. Here in the Champarans, he's got 3-4 seats. Here in Seemanchal as well, he's got about 3 or 4 seats where he's leading in. So I think, here, a bunch of seats right in the heart of the state, again, a bunch of leads. So the JDU is opening up in different regions, and that is an indication. That is an indication already. Remember, he's already at 46. Last time he only had 43. So he's already leading in more number of constituencies than last time. I suspect if these trends hold, this figure will inch closer towards 65, maybe even 70.
Well, 105 for the NDA in terms of the leads out of 167. So we've got more than half the number of have leads coming to about 175, 180 leads. And let's look at this. Ye JDO, NDA and Mahagathbandhan ki cycle wahan se aa rahi hai, dheere dheere dauda ke, and halfway number viewers is 122. The NDA is 107. So this cycle wise now 105, and even as he's coming down, well, that number has gone up. It's become 107. So that means very soon they will be past this halfway number of 122 and into comfortably getting into a position of being able to form government.
The NDA has 2 out of every 3 leads, so it's
almost
in the leads. It's leading in
2 out of every 3 leads.
107 and 58. Yeah,
109 and 58. So 2 out of
right.
every 3 leads are going towards the NDA. So this could be quite a runaway victory. 160 seems possible if these trends hold. And now, viewers, EVMs have opened. So we are also now into round 1 of counting across a lot of counting centers, or the 46 counting centers. We just try and go to Griha at the live result hub to understand how many counting centers EVM counting has already begun, because these leads now are beyond the postal ballots. So they should start consolidating and settling very soon. Yes, Griha.
Okay, Anand, we are still figuring out the routes of counting. Right now, we have about 4 leads that are coming in from EVMs, but one new player...
RJD in 40. Interestingly, the left is leading in more seats than the Congress party. And the NDA overall on 113 seats, just 9 short of the halfway mark. 9 short of the halfway mark in these morning trends and the early leads for the NDA.
So
that's
VIP has just
significant.
opened. VIP has just opened its account. We'll try and see which that seat is. Griha might have more on that. But Congress leading in 9, but if you put all the left parties together, they're leading in 10. But the problem for the India Alliance, again, it's the RJD that's pulling its weight for the entire alliance. The rest of the partners don't seem to be pulling their weight. 40 for the RJD, between Congress, left, VIP, everyone put together, it's barely about 15 seats.
But is the RJD strike rate also looking weaker than the last time around, Zaka?
Absolutely,
is it looking
absolutely.
weaker?
The strike rate is looking weaker because A, they contested more seats this time around, and B, they are not winning as much as they did last time around. Whose strike rate is improving as far as the NDA is concerned? It's the JDU, because it's already +7 from last time. Remember, the JDU won just 43 last time. The BJP had won 75, 74, so they're down 24. But remember, they're fighting less seats this time as well. Last time they fought 115, this time they're fighting 101. So you have to discount that extra 14 seats. But the BJP, it seems, has sort of decided to play second fiddle this time around, giving equal seats to JDU, and JDU is backing up that faith by increasing its tally already at 50. Like I said, if it goes at this rate, I suspect he will be pushing.
In fact, They decided we'll be 50-50 partner, and they are currently doing 50-50 partnership. That's what's happening. 101 seats each, and they're going at 50-51 seats as a lead down to 38. So some of the leads are transferring to the NDA. Is it a runaway victory? Look at the leads. 5 seats, just 5 more leads, and they would be past the halfway mark, or they would be at the halfway mark of 122. 6 more leads, and at 123 they would be past the post in terms of leads, and that would be significant. Look at the INDIA, it's just less than half now. Now exactly 2 out of the 3 leads are now going towards the NDA, as Sandeep Shastriji was saying, and more importantly the cameo roles are also happening. So it's like a team play that's going on, because some of the smaller partners are also pulling their weight.
Yeah, I mean,
contrary
NJP
to
at
the
8, RLM at 5, Ham Party at 3, that itself is 16 seats, 16 leads as of now. So that is also contributing to this tally of 117. If you take away these 16, they'll be closer to 100. Again, that would, but that you would expect, because if the bigger parties are pulling their weight, then it has a sort of knock-on effect for the smaller ones as well. In the India alliance, that's not happening.
If this holds, you know, one thing would be very, very clear, that Rahul Gandhi's this yatra has damaged the alliance in many, many ways. One is that the whole optics of Rahul Gandhi preceding over Tejashwi, that who is the much stronger partner, you know, that actually pissed off the
Rahul
RJD.
Gandhi Yatra seats, 135 out of 243. The NDA is leading in 90 out of those, and India Alliance only at 41.
And
so
then
clearly
delaying
it did have a
the
negative
chief
impact.
ministerial candidate announcement from the Congress's side. I mean, Gehlot had to come in and then announce it,
Correct.
which
No, I
Rahul
think-
should have done it.
Correct.
You know.
I think, you see, the Congress had played at, you know, done a kind of bit of a gambling by changing its, social profile in Bihar, where they have tried, instead of consolidating on upper caste with the traditional vote bank, they moved towards the economically backward classes, etc. And took on JDU, that vote constituency, which they have not been very successful as far as this trend goes. So I think that is something that is, so they experimented, which has failed or a boomerang.
So even on the Rahul Yatra seats, look at that, Congress only leading in 8,
now.
RJD leading in 27. So clearly there was a minimal impact of the SIR Yatra.
No, क्या कह रहे हैं sir?
Yes,
sir.
Yes, because they took on JDU, and JDU is just emerging stronger. So obviously the Congress is going to be the loser.
No, but the Congress, 1, gave the wrong tickets. 2, decided to unnecessarily create all this drama about who will be the CM face.
No, I
3,
don't think that was
pulled the cart in a different direction.
Tejashwi was
drumming up
as we
something,
speak,
and this guy comes and pulls the yatra and the whole thing towards somewhere. So did you actually?
I think that's your
did the
view.
chori happen of the narrative actually?
No, look, you are entitled to
Did the
view.
chori
I
happen
don't
of
think
the
there was
narrative and not the vote?
any
Yeah.
doubt in the mind of a voter there that if the Mahagathbandhan wins, then Mr. Tejashwi Yadav will be the chief minister. There was no doubt about it. It was just that whether they said it or not, that's a matter of.
It is like the non-striker,
121.
the batsman calling for a single, and the non-striker said, "No boundary mark." The non-striker, no boundary mark.
NDA is just one shot of majority.
One shot of majority. One shot of halfway mark. One shot of halfway mark.
Now it is.
One shot. But now 122. The NDA at the halfway mark. There you go. The cycle of the NDA with the Litti Choka coming all the way and swinging right under the halfway mark. That's where it is. NDA and the Mahagathbandhan and the INDIA left far behind. The NDA 122, 2 out of the 3 leads this morning are going the NDA's way. There you go. And as it goes past right at 122, and we'll see whether or not the next lead takes it past the post and gets it past the post. That's where it is. Right at the halfway mark is the NDA. The special Litti Choka this morning is going their way. 63 leads, half 50%. 2 out of the 3 leads have gone to the NDA. This looks like a runaway victory, sir. अभी तो 200 सीट का भी लीड नहीं आया है. 190 पर पहुंच रहे हैं.
See, I think like what India Alliance did in terms of SIR Yatra, I think that was fine, because what it did, it actually mobilizes your cadres. So, but you had to build on from there. The problem is that the two partners sort of like campaign on very different narrative.
Correct.
Congress never left the SIR narrative, and by the sort of like campaign started, RJD and Tejashwi Yadav wanted a very different kind of narrative. So campaign didn't look cohesive for the India Alliance as it did for NDA.
So the NDA has now crossed the halfway mark. It's at 124.
124.
124. big leads as far as the JDU is concerned. The BJP, JDU neck and neck. BJP is down 19 from last time. They had 75. The JDU at 53, already plus 10 seats. The LJP, RLM and the HAM are pulling their weight. There are 16 seats between the three smaller parties. But it's the JDU, BJP story all the way, and in particular the JDU story, because they are gaining 10 seats from last time. As far as the RJD India alliance is concerned, again, the bulk of the heavy hitting is being done by the RJD. It too is getting from different parts of the state, from the southern part of the state. They should have done better. They did better in the southern part, south of Magad last time around. They haven't this time around. We're also awaiting more results from that part. But they're also opening up in the central part of the state. You would expect them to do well in Simanchal. But look at the differential between the senior partner and the junior partner. 45 to the RJD. That's down 30. Last time he had 75. In fact, when there is on result day, they were the single largest party. They're down 30 from last time. The Congress at 19. They're down 9 from last time, leading only in 10. And the left parties between them have 10 seats. The VIP has opened its account in 1 seat. So right now we're looking at 124 to 68.
Right from day one, and never said this out loud, I'm saying it, the results may be irrespective of what the results are, was always of the opinion that in Bihar, Tejashwi should fight alone. Tejashwi should fight with some of the smaller local Bihar groups and then keep it open to tie up with the Congress once the results are settled. Perhaps the traction and perhaps the turnout for and the strike rate of the RJD would have gone up far greater had they fought in more number of seats and done better rather than ally with the Congress. Yeah.
Trends forward, the point which Rahul made about the campaign of the India alliance not being
cohesive,
going together. On the other hand, if you look at the NDA campaign, though the JDU and BJP campaign were distinctive in their own ways, they were not pulling in opposite directions. The JDU focused on Nitish's government, the BJP focused on their central leadership and their governments in other states. So, in a sense, that complemented each other and did not lead to the challenges which you are seeing in the case of the India alliance.
Yes,
There's also a story here to follow, continuing this discussion, that AIMIM, like the narrative that was built, that it's a B team of the BJP, I think that has worked. And then also the credit that was Congress, that they have consistently hyper-focused on minority issues and internationalized some of those issues. So I do think that that little shift has happened, although it does establish a 20-something% base, voter base for them. The rest of it has
even region-wise, look at where the Congress has opened its account. 6 out of the 9 leads that they have right now are all in Simanchal. And you would imagine that that's the case, and that is how it's plotting itself on the map. But I think the problem...
That's what happened in Delhi Assembly also, if you remember.
The AIMIM voter, or those who the Muslim votes that did not want to vote for the BJP or the NDA, earlier gravitated to the AIMIM, now seem to have gone to the Congress, because the last time those AIM candidates immediately after elections defected into and joined the RJD. So they said कि अरे यही करने वाला तो उसी को दे दें. साकेत मिश्रा जी, गुड मॉर्निंग.
मॉर्निंग.
ये तो बिहार आपके बगल में ही है, आपके जहाँ से आप आते हैं, ईस्टर्न यूपी. थोड़ा सा दूर, ज्यादा नहीं.
हवा उधर से.
पर आपको क्या लग रहा है, हवा कैसी चल रही है?
हवा अच्छी चल रही है. I mean, it's a basic contradiction. I mean, when I stepping away from all the detailed discussions, I think one side there's a party that, to whatever extent, is believable in terms of what they want to do, the NDA, and they have a coherent program. The other side, you have a bunch of contradictory guys who actually do not have a common program, common ideology, except hate Modi. And that eventually cannot be a reason for governance. And Tejashwi, I suppose, has lost his value. So, you can have a chat GPT employment program, but without thinking, it doesn't really work.
So let me ask you this. The last time around, the NDA and the BJP had an attack dog in Chirag Paswan who was attacking Nitish. This time around, there was nobody like that. Why the recalibration? And it was all Nitish all the way. Why?
Because I think everybody realized that he is, in the circumstances, the best leader there is, and has the maturity to run the government and pull everybody together, and is performing, I would say, better than most chief ministers in the recent past in Bihar.
Now with 200 leads, the NDA is at 130, better, 5 more than what they had the last time around. With 43 leads more to come, can the NDA cross the 160 mark now in terms of leads? If these trends, if these leads hold, is the 160 looking possible?
Yes, it is looking possible, provided the numbers that are coming from the ground are actually correct, right?
Yeah.
Like if
the EVM countings have become, these are ballots. Now the counting centers, what they are reporting, these leads, moment it comes to 243, you will see more or less settling. Over the course of the next hour and a half, you will see the leads largely settling.
I think after an hour, things will become far more clear. Of course, India seems to have an advantage.
No, because 2 out of 3 leads for that to be reversed looks nearly impossible, although anything can happen with respect to Bihar. I will still hedge that and say that. But in this case, if 130 out of 200 leads, 201 out of 42 seats more to be declared, is 160 for the NDA looking possible?
It is looking possible, but personally, I can tell you that even if they get 125 seats, it doesn't make a difference beyond a point. A miss is as good as a mile. You get 1 or 2 seats over the halfway mark. You're forming the government.
But does it matter if JDU is higher than the BJP?
That will matter on the ground, because it will show that a lot at stake. It has translated in terms of sentiment. Everybody says that the Bihar election is about arithmetic. I thought that this time it was very, very sentiment driven.
It was sentiment driven for 2 reasons. Last time the BJP became much larger than JDU. So there was this whole thing that this is Nitish Kumar's last election, he's wiped out, all of that. Also that he could be removed as chief minister at a later point. If he's far bigger, then it in Bihar, but also for national politics. Because Nitish Kumar's importance for national politics becomes far more important. He becomes as powerful as Chandrababu Naidu.
Within the central
so
government.
Right now the breakup is BJP is leading in 59, the JDU in 54, but the JDU is up 11 from last time. The JDU won just 43 because 30 odd seats, the LJP factor hurt the JDU, so the JDU has picked up. The LJP did not have any seats last time. It's leading in 9, RLM in 5 and the Harm in 3. So that's 17 seats just within the 3 smaller parties. But it's really the story of these two, the bigger partners who are pulling their weight, and they are really...
The BJP is showing minus 15 because there are still about 40 leads to come. So they may make up and they may still emerge as the single largest party within the NDA. Maybe 2 or 3 seats ahead of the JDU, or maybe 2 or 3 seats behind the JDU.
Number is for compared to last time number. It's not about whether they're gaining.
Also, BJP is fighting less seats this time.
It's fighting much lesser seats.
If BJP and JDU are going to have similar numbers, then RJD cannot mathematically have number closer them. So then, in case the fight is going to be between JDU and BJP, who emerges number 1, and given like just 202 out of 243, if you project that number, NDA will be 161.
Well, 130 leads out of 202 leads. 130 leads out of 202 leads for the NDA, 2 in 3 going towards the NDA as of now. That's what it's indicatively looking like. Now there's a little bit of a slip. NDA now comes down to 129. See, now these leads will start transacting a little and swinging a little. But we've got Sohail Seth also joining us. Sohail ji, good morning.
Good morning.
Bihar settled lag raha hai aapko?
I still think it's even Stevens. I don't think you can call the election in any which way. I'm only worried about what Prashant Kishore said once in an interview, where he said he doesn't want to be chief minister, but he wouldn't mind being kingmaker. So depending on how Jan Swaraj does, it's still
Jan Swaraj is leading in 3 seats as of now, Sohail ji.
So well, he can't be kingmaker. I can't imagine him even making a pawn, if you take the chess analogy. But it's still early. See, the problem I have is not with NDA or with the Mahagathbandhan. My problem is, and you know this better than I do, that you've had a chief minister who's been in power almost for 20 years. The affairs is pitiable. Now, if he gets re-elected, I have to give credit for that more to Amit Shah than to Nitish Kumar, because this would require skillful electoral management when you've actually not done real development for the people. So, I mean, that's my belief. So
but in terms of real development, the pull from Raghav that connects Raghopur to Patna is something that was 20 years in waiting. It has happened. The airport at Purnia, nobody thought that it will ever happen, and it has happened. The airport in Patna, nobody thought it will happen, and it has happened. So there are a lot of things that Bihar did not have, it has now.
No,
but yes, there are a lot of things Bihar should have and it doesn't have. I agree there too.
You're right. But look at unemployment. Infrastructure money is spent by the government. Most of it, as you know, is stolen by contractors who have a deep nexus with the politician. I'm talking about jobless growth. I'm talking about employment. I'm talking about people having not to migrate out of their home states. You know how many people from Bihar, especially the young, are actually moving out to different states because they don't see a future for themselves. And by the way, many years ago, and I must flag this off because it'll be of interest to your viewers, I wrote an article where I said, look at the irony of Bihar. 50% of the doctors at that point in time in All India Institute of Medical Sciences were from Bihar. And so were 50% of the patients, which means Bihar hadn't developed its own healthcare infrastructure. Second point I made is 50% of the IAS officers at that point in time were from Bihar. And yet Bihar's development suffered. So there is a tinge of irony that we must contend ourselves to.
No, I think in terms of a mission statement for whoever forms government and the Bihar 2025 has to be that the Bihari should not have to go out of Bihar.
Absolutely.
I think that has to be, in terms of, it should not be forced. It should have the option to, but should not be forced. There should be enough and more that should be for them to stay back. Just quickly going across to Shivani over in Patna. Shivani, you got a lot of guests around and people. What's the mood with the early trends coming through? Whose shoulders are drooping and whose are not?
Yes, so mood here is, the mood here, Anand, is that these are unexpected lines. The big parties, BJP, JDU and the RJD are all pulling their weight. Their numbers are not surprising to anybody. But I want to get you the story of the supporting acts. I have with me the LJP, the Congress, the HAM, even Jan Swaraj. I'll get quick reactions from them. LJP fought on half the seats that Congress did. But your strike, it's going to be much, much better. LJP's number and Congress numbers are virtually the same. And that is where the story lies between the two alliances. Are you happy with the LJP numbers so far?
Of course we are, but I'm sure in coming time we are going to increase our seat and to exact poll. We are very happy. We are going to make government with the thumping victory.
And Congress was supposed to be the laggard of the Mahagathbandhan, and the numbers that are coming out, just about 10-11 leads for the Congress party. You are going to bring down the Mahagathbandhan.
No, it is not like that. This time we have, since 9 months we have worked hard on the ground, and it is the only party who raised the issue of the Bihar and Biharis, and we are fighting for the right of Biharis. So I can bet you, and I'm very sure that as the time progresses and as the ballot magical box opens, the number will be in favor of Congress and India.
But the BJP allies are doing well, and HAM is also with us. Happy with the performance so far?
देखिए पूरी तरह से और हम लोग आश्वस्त हैं कि हम लोग 2010 के प्रदर्शन को दोहराएंगे और हम 3/4 बहुमत से आएंगे. बाकी तो अभी 2 घंटे में सब कुछ क्लियर हो जाएगा.
क्लियर हो जाएगा. पिक्चर अभी थोड़ी बाकी है, but there are of course leads that have come on virtually 200 seats and already the majority mark for the NDA. I have Jan Swaraj representative with me. I think I see 3 seats, 3 leads for the JSP. Are you happy with the early trend so far?
Definitely we are happy and we are hopeful also. And as numbers are increasing slowly, so we are hoping whenever actual results will come, you will see definitely significant.
What is your internal assessment?
No, we have not done any assessment, and we do not make any claims. But we definitely say that whatever change is whatever change we see in the Bihar, that is only because of us. Bihar is talking on the lines of development. Bihar is talking on the lines of agenda, and that's what we have given to the Bihar.
Absolutely. So all parties here waiting with bated breath, Anand.
Well, thanks for that. And when you say hum, I am reminded of Bachchan Saab and hum and ek dusre se karte hain pyar hum. That's what the NDA seems to be saying to each other this time around, contrary to 2020 viewers. And aap humse pyar karte hain. Continue to watch, continue to stay with us, not just on TV, and also you can watch us on YouTube.
Currently leading in, I think, 50,000 views, more than 50,000 views.
Namaste, thank you. See, this ek dusre se karte hain pyar hum has been established. Thank you so much. And on Connected TV also, continue to stay with us, please. Let's go across to the live result hub. Griya is joining us with more details. 203 leads, and of which 132 for the NDA. So they're slowly inching up. Yes.
As you've come to me, Anand, there is the first call that has died right now come in from Bhojpur district.
Bhojpur mein? Shahpur.
From Shahpur, and we have a lead, BJP lead. Rakesh Ranjan is leading from there.
Rahul Tiwari, RJD.
So overall,
okay, Rahul Tiwari, RJD. The tables have turned now. RJD is leading.
Overall in Bhojpur, it seems neck and neck. It's 17 to the NDA, 16 to the India Alliance. RJD is doing reasonably okay. Now the India Alliance has gone up to 17. So RJD is doing okay in Bhojpur. The problem for the RJD was last time around they won a lot of seats here in the Magadh belt. That doesn't seem to be converting. And here, of course, in the Bhagalpur belt, which traditionally has been Nitish Kumar's stronghold, the party that's doing well across regions, seats alone. If you look at just the seats, 55, and they are up 12 from last time. They had 43 last time. The BJP had 74. They're down 14, but then they're also fighting 14 seats less. But look at this. The JDU doing well in the eastern part of the state. It's doing well in the northern part of the state, the Mithila belt as it were, and also up north in the Champaran side. So they're getting across regions. When a party starts doing well across regions, then you know it's pulling its weight. As far as the RJD is concerned, the RJD last time around, just pulling up the RJD seats, it is pulling the bulk of the weight as far as this alliance is concerned. 45 seats where the RJD is leading, Congress only in 11. But look at the geographical pattern. There's a cluster here. There are few odd seats here in Simanchal, but in the rest, in the central part of the state, I hardly see any RJD. Here in the south, again, I don't see any RJD. Here, if you go back to the 2020 map, there was a lot of RJD and CPI-ML in this part of the state, which is south of Magadh. But I don't see that.
With your permission, I'm just going to walk across here. चकल्लस चल रहा है मुझे बताइए ये तब से आपके बीच में ये गुफ्तगू चल रही है व्हाट इज इट दैट यू आर डिस्कसिंग एंड देयर वाज सम स्लाइसिंग डाइसिंग एंड ऑल गोइंग ऑन व्हाट वर यू डूइंग
मिठाई का फ्लेवर कौन सा
those rasgullas we saw at somebody's house
that was gulab
jamun
now this is deflection viewers they are deflecting they were talking something else
we were actually talking about development I mean in this case it was just a little bit about Bombay but I think it's about the theme of the center and the states working together and improving things that haven't been done for years.
Okay.
So whether it was Maharashtra, whether it's UP, and I think increasingly you talked about the airports, etc. in Bihar.
Yeah.
I think the same story is going to continue. Bihar has.
So you hazard a guess.
Yeah.
I think they were talking about whether they're going to be Devendra in Bihar or not, or there will be Eknath Shinde's continuation.
No, sir, that conversation of talking totally diametrically opposites was Tejashwi and Rahul Gandhi, sir. One was talking unemployment, the other one was talking vote chori. But you are saying you disagree with Sohail Sheikh?
Yeah, because I think there is a, see Bihar has...
आपकी कुर्सी कहाँ गई? देखिए इनकी कुर्सी कहाँ है भाई कुर्सी लाओ
लड़ाई तो कुर्सी
लेके आता लाइए
the whole fight is
आपकी कुर्सी आ गई
Politics within a TV channel is far more dire than in actual politics.
किस्सा कुर्सी का
ये बोल रहा है कि मेरी कुर्सी भाई आप कुर्सी खाली छोड़ के जाएंगे या तो कुर्सी ले जाएगा या कोई वहाँ बैठ जाएगा
आपका बैग नहीं गया वैसे
but they are all disagreeing with on the infrastructure bit with Sohail Sheikh.
Very simple thing. I think Bihar has particular constraints. For instance, there isn't enough non-agricultural land to be used with industries. So we need a slightly different model in Bihar for development. That will come through the connectivity that's happening. So it's easy to say, it's jobless growth, etc. It doesn't happen in a day. You start having connectivity, you start having highways, you start improving people's quality of life in terms of healthcare. And eventually people will come back and start to do things on their own because the safety net of having to live in Bihar and being able to have a decent existence will give them an incentive to start.
But Sohail did not make a point about industry.
On the video wall.
Let's open him up here and then we can all talk to Sohail also. But Sohail ji did not talk. Sohail said did not talk about industry. What he said is IAS officers and healthcare, doctors. More doctors from Bihar, he has made a point in the past, but why those doctors are not in Bihar? And why is there poor healthcare in Bihar? That has not...
Let me tell you why.
Jay.
Let me tell you why. I couldn't get the name of the gentleman who was
Saket Mishra.
Saket, thank you. See, the point is, A, I'm not looking for agreement. B, it's an opinion which is based on how industry warms up to states. Today, states are actually marketers. As we speak, the unveiling of the CII summit is going to happen in Visakhapatnam. Who's doing it? Chandrababu Naidu. Nitish Kumar started off early in a very dramatic and positive manner. If you recall, Anand and Zaka, you will remember that Nandu Singh, NK Singh, was appointed as the chief economic advisor for the state. I will only give you one real life instance to counter what Saket was saying. We all went to Patna, and there's a hospital there called the Guru Tegh Bahadur Hospital. It's government run. It was in a pitiable state, still is, by the way. I'm talking about 20 years ago. And there was an offer made to do a public-private partnership. And who objected to it? The government bureaucrats, because obviously they were going to make money of the hospitals as they always do. It is not right for anyone, including Saket or me, to say this had happened, that is. My issue is as follows. A, you don't need highways to attract people. you need safety, you need law and order, and you need a willingness for industry. No, hear me out. Services businesses don't require highways when I last checked. So let's not even go there. Today, Bihar is portrayed in a negative way on Jamtara. You think the average Bihari youth is not bright enough? He's far sharper than most of us imagine.
Right.
There is no services business. There is no services in Bihar to the extent it could have had. Number two, healthcare is not there to the extent it could have had. My point is, for 20 years, now if you tell me you built one highway and one, a road and 3 projects, damn good. You shouldn't be given a gold medal for that. Who's spending? Government.
Right. So, Sohelji, okay. Yes, Nalin has a point. Yeah, Nalin.
So Bihar has grown at a CAGR of about 11% over the last decade, which is the 9th fastest, on par with UP, but below Madhya Pradesh and below, of course, the richer states of Andhra, Gujarat, Karnataka, and so on.
But from a low base.
From much lower base, of course. So the point I'm trying to make is now, it's real, in real terms, growth is 6.4%, but if you look at the per capita income, I'm coming to what Sohail was saying, Bihar per capita income is 33,966 rupees a year. UP is almost double at 51,898, and even Jharkhand, which broke out of Bihar, is almost double of Bihar at 64,347, right, per capita. So that is the nature of the economy of the state.
जनार्दन है if they think दाग अच्छे
No, the fact that whoever gets the mandate today, let's say as of now it looks like the NDA who are nearing 140, whoever gets the mandate today, the next 5 years they have to show far greater amount of
खुशी से मरना जाते हैं जो तेरी बात पे एतबार होता।
आनंद
देखिए अगर नीतीश बाबू को नहीं चुनते तो बिहार में अब भी जंगल राज होता।
I've also maintained in previous programs, I think it's also the failure of the anti-incumbent, the opposition, that they've not made this the number one issue. If today jobs was the number one issue, we wouldn't be looking at NDA 129 and India
opportunities
65.
was the
But this is the last election
but somebody decided they wanted to do hashtag SIR. Somebody still wants to do hashtag vote chori, not job. Yes, Sandeep ji, and then Priyanka.
We need to contextualize the whole question of where Bihar. Let's remember where Bihar was 20 years back when Nitish came, and where Bihar is now. So, if we were to compare Bihar with other states in a present situation, I don't think we are being fair to the state.
Anyway, how it has progressed in
one comment quickly. I think like historically, yes, Bihar.
So, you're on mute, one sec.
Historically, Bihar has problems. Yes, Nitish Kumar didn't deliver what he was expected to deliver in last 10 years. He did really well from 2005 to say 12 or 13. But from 13 onwards, this man was also fighting a political battle. Right, between 13 and 25, he has been changing party because it was also a question of his political survival. Now, if Nitish Kumar today comes as like a number 1 or number 2 party, we hope that in twilight, if he's getting a grand welcome from the voter, he also gives something grand to the state. And so let's hope for
what
that.
all pollsters predicted, around 140 mark, that's where the NDA's leads are. We'll come back to this conversation after quick check on the numbers.
Currently, the BJP at 60, it's down 14, remember, but it's fighting 14 seats less. It fought 115 last time, 101 this time around. The JDU neck and neck at 59. The JDU, to my mind, is the big victor of this election if these leads hold, because they're already up 16 from last time, so they will be pushing closer to 65. The LJP is also a big winner. Out of the 29 seats that they fought, they're already leading in. They had none last time around. The RLM and the Hum party, the smaller parties, have 9 seats between them. So the smaller parties are also pulling their weight in the NDA alliance. As far as the India alliance is concerned, it is all the way the RJD, even though the RJD is down 30 seats from last time. The RJD was the single largest party last time around with 75 seats. It's down 30 seats. The Congress is down 7. Congress contested 70 last time, won 19. Right now, contesting 61, leading only in 12. So the Congress's strike rate is further less than what it was last time around. The CPML has 6. VIP has opened his account with 1. CPM and CPI at 1 each. Again, the left parties had 15 last time around. They are down to just 8. So the smaller parties are also not pulling their weight in the India alliance. It's the RJD that's doing the bulk of the heavy lifting, and that's not good enough to compete with the NDA.
The RJD is also minus. The RJD is also minus, and interestingly, the way Chirag Paswan is pulling out of 29, if he is leading in 11, and if he settles somewhere around 15, does he make up a strong candidate for a deputy chief minister? And then, is there a possibility that the future leadership in Bihar could move to perhaps younger shoulders?
Younger shoulders, and also he will, I think, then get a confidence to do what they've been talking about before the election, is to turn him into a Bahujan leader rather than just the leader of the Paswan community.
Bahujan leader, yes. And then does Nitish also then get to call who his successor, legatee, will be within the JDU? Because JDU now becomes, finds itself very strong.
Yes, I have a quick data point. Assuming that there will not be a prominent BJP leader in the government.
No, the second deputy CM. I'm not saying the first one. The first one will be a BJP guy,
right,
BJP person.
BJP deputy CM.
Two BJP deputy CM. Now there'll be one deputy CM from the BJP and one from the
SB. That in the cephalogy of these seats of JDU and BJP, the JDU right now is retaining about 24 odd seats, but it's gaining in among seats. 25, 26 are gains.
Yeah.
With BJP, the retention around 40, 42, but the gains are about 15. So in terms of the JDU is actually really
gaining
powering
more than.
Interestingly, RJD is also gaining certain seats. Yeah, RJD is gaining about 25, 26, it is gaining 30, 30
But
odd.
overall, because they had 75 and they were the single largest last time, they're down 30 this time. But
they're down
again,
30,
they're neck and neck, BJP and JDU. And I suspect, if these trends hold, I suspect that the JDU might actually end up as the single largest because of this. The gains that the JDU are substantially higher than any party in the field. Forget about just the NDA partners, but any party in the field has not got 16 gains. So a large number of these gains could potentially be those RJD seats. RJD is down 30 from last time. Those RJD seats which they won against JDU candidates because of the Paswan factor. Paswan again leading in 10 seats right now. We'll see where he ends up. But neck and neck right now between the BJP and the JDU. And I think it will be clear that not only will Nitish Kumar be the chief minister, I think he will also decide the future course of his exit, what the future of his party is going to be, etc., etc. To that extent, the weight of the BJP within the alliance might actually come down.
Just on an aside, Sohail said, if you're listening to our viewers, a viewer has said, Sir, Jamtara Bihar mein nahi hai, Jharkhand mein hai. Jharkhand mein hai. So the Jamtara, when you knew that, and so was Jamshedpur in Bihar at one point in time when I went to school there, ab wo Jharkhand mein hai. Ji, yes.
No, what I actually did point out at that time, but I didn't want to say it out loud, but I'm glad that the reader did, because this is a sore point with all Jharkhandis, because despite the fact that they're a separate state now, they're always kind of clubbed with Bihar. Coming to the JDU,
will be happy to pass off
coming to the JDU, I've been deeply in touch with their backroom for a while now. As I said, they lost 32 seats because of LJP in the last election. They said we want to recover at least 15. If we recover 15, then we are home and dry, and we'll be happy to have that. They were very, very silent when it came to Chirag Paswan. They didn't say anything to piss him off, or Nitish Kumar was said to be quite upset that he had got 29 seats, but they kept a lid on it. And all these pre-election NDA meetings, they were pretty serious about it, and I think they did well in terms of ticket distribution.
No, Chirag Paswan quietly has also made amends with Nitish Kumar. He's also quietly behind the scenes gone ahead.
He said that this is the first election he is contesting assembly election as part of the NDA. This is the first time. And this bad blood that is between the JDU and the LJP, he said, my first thing would be to quieten it down. We want to post a good performance within the alliance.
And you will see if the results stay, and if these results hold, and if they consolidate further in the NDA, you will also see Chirag Paswan going ahead, perhaps touching Nitish Kumar's feet, and then that entire arrangement coming through.
I just want to make an announcement. One second. So if you're watching us on YouTube, CNN News 18 currently is at 83,000 concurrents. So 83,000 people are watching CNN News 18 right now. The number 2 channel, less than half of them are watching. So thank you very much, viewers, for watching us on YouTube, on Connected TV. There you go. That's the
numbers. Those are the numbers, undeniable. Like we are saying, we're putting it all on the screen. It's not just numbers.
Best data so far.
Yeah, that's the best data. That's the best data. अरे sir, नीचे का data भी तो best data है, authentic है, real data है, क्या बात कर रहे हैं? But this is the happy data. Let's have a look. थोड़ा आइए भाई पास आओ, जरा दिखाओ हमारे viewers who are watching us on YouTube. We're going to thank them specifically. Let's say, and that's the green number. So big round of applause to our viewers. for backing us and watching us here at CNN News 18. This result is live. Let the trends continue. Both in YouTube and on the screen. That's what.
I think, Zaka, last time BJP had 110 seats and JDU had contested 115 seats.
So there were 5 candidates, BJP, but they were independent candidates. So it was 115, 115. Okay. There were 5 seats.
5 seats, the independent candidates on the BJP symbol. So 115. This time, each. Yeah, but they are increasing their strike rate. You look at the fact that they, rather than contesting more seats, they're contesting less, upping their strike rate. So individual number of seats conversion is going up, and the allies are also happy. The local allies are happy in LJP. Ham was a little upset, but their strike rate is good
both
too.
at 62, but the JDU has gains of 19 and the BJP losses of 12. One part is, like I said, because they're fighting less seats. But yeah,
Zaka, if you look at the
146 now, sir. 146.
If you look at the India Alliance story, of course they are failing and faltering, but all constituents are actually, constant. It is not that the Congress is, dipping. Even the RJD is not doing well, and some of the smaller allies are doing very badly. That IP Gupta party and that other VIP. And the Congress performance is not that bad in that proportion.
Sir.
Yes, down to 14 out of 61 seats. Because they had 19 last time, they're leading only in 14. They're down to 5.
But you look at RJD. No, but look at RJD, you look at VIP.
Every India constituent is going down.
That is what I'm saying. So the alliance is failing.
That is because, sir, the team loses if you don't play cohesively.
Team loses because...
Sir, one says, let's go for a run. The other one says, no, I'm going to stand here, going to go for a boundary in the next over.
The story is clearly a story of alliance chemistry.
Alliance
chemistry in the NDA alliance was very visibly there.
Yeah.
Whereas in the opposition alliance, the numbers clearly indicate that there was no gelling between
trust
the
factor on Nitish, alliance chemistry. Two pearls coming from Sandeep. Yeah, Priyam Gandhi Modi.
Yeah, no, about the Congress story, it's a bad number. It's like saying that you're still justifying like that's...
No, but you should give the book to Tejashwi Yadav and ask him what if there was no Congress in your alliance.
Exactly, that would be a whole different story.
You should actually give your book to Tejashwi Yadav and say what if there was no Congress in your alliance.
I think there is a fundamental issue with the opposition alliance, which is that all these guys have traditionally opposed the Congress. Fundamentally, for the Congress, and whether it is Samajwadi Party or it's RJD, it's an existential issue. If Tejashwi wins, it pretty much destroys the Congress going forward. And therefore, how can you have a coherent...
Sir, 18 seats not yet out, but the NDA is nearing 150 numbers. So 160 looks possible at this point with respect to leads. Look at the bottom of the screen, 149, 64 to the BJP, 64 to the JDU, both of them batting strongly for that alliance, and they should hit the 150 number. We'll have a few key race alerts also, but first to the live result. Griha has got some updates. Yes.
Okay, one update that we are getting for you, Anand, is coming in from Patna Sahab. Congress candidate Shashank Shekhar is leading, but I would like to get in an update on the rounds of counting like we have been looking at as far as EVMs is concerned. So first up, we are getting a lowdown on Bharatiya Janata Party, the number of constituencies that the BJP is leading on, and right now the details that we are getting in is that the first round of counting is currently on, except in Rajnagar, where the second round has started, and also in Aura, where the third round of counting has begun. So far, round one is what's going on, but in one or two constituencies is where we are seeing the second and third round of EVM counting that has begun. Same is true if we take a look at the number of constituencies where the RJD is leading. So far, there is round one that's going on, except in Danapur and in Baniapur, where the second round of EVM counting has begun. And all of these constituencies is where RJD is leading. So this is what is the latest that's coming in as far as the rounds.
So the RJD candidate is leading in Mahua and Tej Pratap is trailing. That's the key race alert. Tejashwi Yadav is actually leading in Raghopur. Congress party leading in 17 out of 61 contested. Better strike rate as of now in terms of leads compared to the 19 out of 70 that they eventually totaled in 2020. So the Congress would say, "Yaar, पिछली बार से better किया."
Being brought back to life. Yeah, Naren, you wanted to make a point.
I want to make the point we're making for 2 days now. 2 points actually. One, we are seeing a replication of the Lok Sabha result of 2024.
Possibly, yeah.
In the Lok Sabha, the JDU had 72 seats, the BJP had 68 seats. And when you extrapolate the Lok Sabha to assembly constituents, this result is pretty much looking like that. And that's also because the point that Professor Shastri was making, that because of the alliance chemistry, the same alliance fought exactly the same way in the Lok Sabha, unlike in 2020, when the LJP was cutting the votes. I'm also looking at the vote share numbers from the Election Commission. The BJP is at 26.2% at the moment. RJD is 24.13% and JDU is 15.15%. That only further underscores the point about alliance, because the vote, while the votes are disparate in certain pockets.
In certain pockets, and point is that the BJP may still remain the single largest party, with the JDU not so far behind, but it's actually propped up and pulled up the JDU. Have they really mastered their strategy? Because you said alliance chemistry. Somebody said let's credit Amit Shah for what this is happening. Sohail said we should credit Amit Shah for brilliant poll management. But also, did they get it right? Did they understand the sentiment on ground right, that you cannot nail Nitish and to the ground and try and win this election, because it's not going to happen? Is the BJP now realizing the importance of the regional allies in certain states, especially where it's playing second fiddle?
No, absolutely it is, and the decision to go with and to align again with Nitish Kumar while was important, and the result.
150 has 152 leads.
Anand,
232, 152.
26% vote share for BJP at the moment. If this number holds, that's a 6% bump from the Lok Sabha election, and compared to the last election. So it's actually showing that BJP as a party is growing in this election, just as JDU is growing.
Yeah, I think, is this the new recalibrated strategy, that rather than grow at the cost of the other, let everybody grow and we'll grow a little more along with that?
So I think in Bihar it is a function of the fact that there was no alternative for the BJP. BJP doesn't have a local leader, and the caste matrix is such that the JDU, BJP's caste group, you have to
They're not competing with Bihar, always stuck between the politics of social justice and Hindutva. Unlike in UP, Hindutva does not have a statewide appeal and a largish base where you can hit the critical mass of forming the government on your own. So it's always been a situation where the BJP needs the help of one of these old socialist mandal wala parties, and Nitish has always been their steady ally
what happens
since
after that?
95.
No, Nisula, what happens after Nitish? I mean, you've been saying that this is possibly his last election. What happens? Does Bihar also mirror UP then?
No, I don't think so. I think there will be some sort of a recalibration of that old kind of a politics in a new way, which Nitish did 2000, which is when he created from the larger mandal bloc, he created his own
NDA is, as per election, the NDA has more than 50% vote share. फिर तो election भाग जाएगा सर, एक तरफ भागेगा.
वो तो एक तरफ भागेगा. But I think it will depend on what will happen to Bihar politics, the kind of decisions BJP is going to make. If BJP makes a Jharkhand-like decision, they will pay the price of that decision in next election also.
Correct. Which is what? Say that
you
again.
got a non-tribal chief minister.
I think with this result, it's very clear that Nitish will be CM.
No, post kind of decision, right? So it will see. BJP tried 2 deputy CMs last time, 2 deputy CMs this time. None of them have been able to emerge as sort of like
नहीं कर पाएंगे sir, and in Bihar it's, I think somewhere it is very simple. You have to defer to Nitish and you have to allow Nitish to announce his legatee. Nitish Kumar has to announce his legatee, whether he announces the legatee from JDU, from BJP or anywhere, and for all you know he will announce somebody from the JDU, and somebody is being groomed, quietly being groomed to take over.
I don't think he's going to announce the legatee. I have a feeling he's going to be like Jayalalitha. Say that look, people will push forward a leader because he himself.
They still haven't solved that problem.
What he basically, I think, did in 90s along with George Fernandez and breaking away from the Janata Dal led by Lalu Prasad Yadav at that time, which became the RJD, was to do a Mandal 2.0, which is the salami slicing of the larger OBC bloc. Then he added the women's vote. Now you will have the part 2 of that situation where somebody will have to come and conceptualize a new sort of a social coalition. I don't think that Hindutva even now will be able to win BJP the election in Bihar.
If I may request, let's not talk about post-Nitish Bihar as
Just
of now.
yet.
Let him...
We wish him great health. We wish him great health. We wish him a successful 5-year term as Chief Minister, and also underline the fact कि भाई टाइगर अभी जिंदा है, बूढ़ा शेर में अभी भी बहुत होता
because you're forgetting neither Prakash Singh Badal vacated the seat nor M.K. Stalin vacated
but
the
I'm
seat.
just saying, I feel that the intelligent and the engineer in Nitish, and also a certain level of political astuteness, he will at a point in time know that party को चलाना है तो उत्तराधिकारी करना पड़ेगा.
Anand, I think if you look at the numbers and the direction the NDA is going, not only is it alliance chemistry, it is also the caste calculus which has worked in their favor. The point which was earlier made, the NDA alliance of the BJP and the JDU brings in the OBC and you bring in the group that JDU is able to. Also a caste calculus which they have brought in.
Yeah, but if it is the Mahila factor that has actually given the NDA the kind of mandate that the leaderboard currently is reflecting, will the political discourse of Bihar itself change? Priyam Gandhi Modi and the others.
We were talking about what happens now. If these numbers hold and these guys win, you know, what happens now? So especially if the Mahila factor is working, etc., you know, what happens after Nitish? So we've seen this in Maharashtra, that you grow together. There was a belief at one time in Maharashtra that you cannot win without regional parties. You know, we have, you know, the BJP has almost gotten to a point where it is going to be able to win perhaps without a regional party in the next few
Bihar, I'll tell you one thing. The BJP does not have a leader or a face in Bihar who can actually motivate and mobilize the party and cadre out only for that party. BJP does not have it.
In Maharashtra, BJP, look, in Maharashtra, BJP went on shopping and they shopped very well.
पैसे हो तो shopping करेंगे.
While comparisons are important, it's important to also understand the political context of a state. Bihar is not like the other states of the country, and the type of alliance the BJP has built up in Bihar is very distinct, and the fact that they had to retain Nitish as part of their alliance indicates the importance of the regional parties for the BJP in Bihar.
And also that also where Nitish also realized that he can survive and he can prosper only with the NDA and with the BJP.
And therefore, even if the BJP emerges as the single largest party in the NDA, I don't think that would imply any chief minister change. You will still have to go with Nitish Kumar.
No, Nitish will be the chief minister. It is just is there a post-Nitish era in the horizon, and should all parties prepare for that in Bihar, especially within the NDA? That's one question. What they will do in the next 5 years under Nitish Kumar, if these results hold, we'll have to see. Now the lead has slipped down under 150, it's 149.
I think there is one other change that will happen in the next 5 years. If you looked at Hindutva, it was supposedly worked pretty well as an umbrella strategy. I think in Bihar, we have what Professor Shastri said, they've got the caste equations right. But if the BJP and the NDA, I would say overall, is smart, they will shift the narrative to development. Now, it's not the development of Maharashtra, but it's a development of something that is unique to Bihar. Any discussion of post-Nitish, frankly, doesn't really make sense because he's going to be there.
So, next 5 years, they're going to plan what they're going to do. Just another 6 seats to go, of which the leads have not yet come. They have not yet been plotted, viewers. And the NDA has crossed the 150 number again, 152 leads. If those 6 seats come, will this further go inch towards the 160 mark? That's the target that was set by the NDA for themselves. Yes, Nalin, and then Rahul.
So, you know, one of the reasons why Bihar is different, and the point that Professor Shastri was making about the alliance politics, Bihar is unlike UP. So, for example, Bihar has about 10% more forward caste than UP. Bihar has about 4.5% more Yadavs than UP. The 17-18% Muslims roughly. Those get in UP they get divided up, but in Bihar they go either to Congress or RJD. And most importantly, UP has BSP, which cuts about 10%, 12% of the vote, which is not there in Bihar. Which is why alliance matrix in Bihar becomes specifically very, very important. And the BJP's sort of vote base is it's a very nice complementarity with JDU's vote base. They both need each other significantly.
And it's transferability of votes, which is perhaps not happening in other places.
See, I think Bihar is distinct in the Hindi heartland. Bihar is the only state where BJP never had a CM. In all other Hindi heartland states, BJP had a CM. Second, Bihar politics has always been delivering a coalition government, whereas UP and other states have started delivering single party majority. And the reason that's happening, BJP in Haryana or most states where it entered after 2014, what was the strategy? Basically create a wedge between the OBC caste and a Dalit caste. In Bihar, Nitish Kumar had already done that. He had done the Yadav minus EBC mobilization. He had done the Paswan minus Mahadalit mobilization. Yes. So in that sense, it leaves very little space for the BJP. Kumar.
Right. Sohail Seth is also there. Just a quick word. Sohailji, you've been listening. Your thoughts?
My worry is not about Nitish Kumar at all. And by the way, no leader, no politician leaves power on their own violation. Either God calls them or the population calls them back from their offices. My concern here is about the future of the Congress. And since he is there and he's one person who knows the Congress better than perhaps most people do, my worry is how long will the Congress continue its massive decline because of this intellectual giant they have leading them? Because what is happening is you're destroying a great alternative. I'm not bothered about whether it's Gandhi or Modi or whoever it is. In a democracy, whether you like it or not, Congress is the only other pan-national party. And for the Congress to be consistent both in its decline and something that is worrisome. So Rashid, since Rashid guides Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis and is the closest advisor to Priyanka, let Rashid wait.
Wait, this is what we're going to do.
Room, by the way.
Swapan Das Gupta is getting mic'd up. Rashid, please come back into, come to me. Come here. Rashid, come here. This is all live. That's all right. No problem. Our viewers are understanding what we're doing. Aye, Rashid, that question was to you. So you have to answer. So I'll have to use my mic. Come. हम शेयर कर लेंगे उसमें क्या?
Mr. Sohail Seth has he's my friend. He always exaggerates. He knows that nobody can advise, Gandhis, particularly Rahul and Priyanka. Like you, I'm an independent observer, and we do comment and make a livelihood out of it. But capacity to advise.
Who has written more books on the Gandhis, which even the Gandhis can't read or haven't read?
I've written on Sindhyas also. So I mean, I don't advise them.
About people.
Gandhis need to sort of reinvent and look at. They think that it is their, duty to take.
It's called entitlement. It's a simple word, entitlement.
नहीं वो बोल रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस का क्या होगा ये लीडरशिप कब चेंज होगी?
Well, I would say the corpse is still alive and kicking, so it will continue.
Anand, there's an old saying in a particular play. It says, "Operation successful, patient dead." That is the surgical prowess of the Congress party
I think
today.
the test of Congress will come in the next round of assembly elections, where it will be a direct contender. Particularly in Kerala,
you said that 10, 11 years ago also. कि उनका टाइम आएगा, उनका टाइम आएगा, उनका टाइम आएगा.
11 years ago they won in Kerala.
Now see, by that logic they also won 2 MLA seats in UP. Now Rashid, if you have to defend them, don't defend them itna.
No, thank you Rashid ji. You're going to get some grub. We've got Swapan Das Gupta ji is also. Welcome sir, welcome. Thank you very much. आइए, कुर्सी आपके लिए वेकेट कर दी गई. देखिए, आपके लिए कुर्सी तैयार है. Yes, yes, Zaka.
So just quick check on the map. So it's 150 par as it were for the NDA. Just a breakup of the alliance partners. The BJP at 68, the JDU at 68. I keep looking at the gains. For the JDU, it's a 25 seat gain from 2020. BJP is down 6, but remember the BJP is fighting 14 seats less this time. The LJP. I think this is a pretty good record. Out of 29 seats that he's fighting, he's leading in 14, the Ham Party in 4 and the RLM in 2. But really, I think the story of the NDA alliance is the revival of the JDU. And if you look at the map, it's across. The light green of the JDU is across different regions, whether it's in Bhojpur, whether it is in Magad, whether it is in the Bhagalpur belt, or even in Mithilanchal. They seem to be doing across regions. And when a party does well across regions, it's pulling its weight. So it's neck and neck between the JDU and the BJP as far as the NDA alliance is concerned. India alliance, on the other hand, it's a different story. The only color you see largely is purple, which is the RJD. But even the RJD is 20 seats down from last time. Last time the RJD had 75. They're down to 52. The Congress had 19 last time. They're down to 17. Again, the left parties, between all of them, CPML, CPI, CPM, they had 15 last time. They're down to 7 seats.
See, the leads have been at 238 for a while now, but the NDA seat count has been going up. It went up from 152 to 157. That means increasingly, as we are plotting Bihar live for our viewers, as the results are coming in, the leads are coming in, viewers, the NDA is pulling more seats away from the INDIA. Swapanji, welcome. Please, your thoughts. My apologies, you are Swapan and Swapan Das Gupta. I end up saying Swapan Das. My apologies. पहले ही माफी मांग लेता हूँ. Swapan जी बताइए.
Well, thanks for getting the ethnic things right. But I think what's very clear is that this is quite an emphatic mandate. You know, what at least it appears to be at present. And secondly, that the pool machinery which he has set up, which is based not on might or muscle power, it's based really on certain arithmetic, juggling of arithmetic, caste politics at times, class politics at times, other factors, whenever it suits them. That seems to have worked again in a very good way, just like it did in Delhi, where really it was the organization at the micro level which played the part, and in Haryana, which too again. So it's that same pattern which is being repeated in Maharashtra, Haryana, Delhi,
160,
Bihar.
240 leads, 160 number. 160 was the target that was set by the NDA. 3 more leads that have yet to come, and they seem to be continuously moving in one way. Is this holds? Yeah. And we are getting into the third round of counting in a lot of the counting centers. First round of counting of EVMs is already done. 46 counting centers and all.
Yes. Trend start when a party or an alliance is ahead,
161 now.
As it closes, they tend to get the advantage.
Together,
so I will not be surprised if that goes even higher as you get to the end.
Now this is historic. This is a historic mandate. The last time just past the post, 2 or 3 past the post, there was a lot of noise that you've doctored, engineered the last 10, 12 seats just to get the post, etc. And this is settled beyond doubt. This is settled beyond. Now go back to my question in the morning. ये टोनवा ठीक नहीं लग रहा है. जी.
No, I'm going to go back to that development-led growth conversation, because I think now that for the voting pattern to change from like the caste politics to development-led, performance-led voting, you know, I feel going back to again what Mr. Seth said, that infrastructure is very much required. I think that increases and changes aspirations of people, and I think that's where BJP kind of brings in its strong suit also in that double engine Sarkar performance, and I think that's the game changer here.
Look at it. Sorry, I'm interrupting. Just have a look at it. 52% vote share. See, this is the NDA's best ever. The NDA has never gotten above 43-44%, if my memory serves me right. 52%, more than half the percent vote share the NDA has pulled, because the cameos have also been fantastic. LJP, HAM have all added JDU and and look at the INDIA, 37%
gap between the two. It's basically a 2-horse race. I mean, I don't think Jansuraj or any of the other 3rd or 4th players matter in this election. It's a 2-horse race, and if there's a 15% gap between the two alliances, then I think it's a runaway victory, and that's what we're seeing in the seats as well.
In my mind about Tejashwi Yadav. Right. Yes, he's done better than the Congress, but the question is, does he offer anything beyond what his father gave him? And I suspect the answer to that is no. He was novelty last time. He is no longer novelty. Clearly, the people and politics is not about the perfection, finding perfection, but it's about the half loaf, right? So, does he offer anything that the people credibly believe will take them to a different level? Now, if he is not able to do that, my personal belief is that Tejashwi's vote share going forward is going to be tough to hold, because there will be other people nipping at his heels for that same MY base.
Same MY, but now the MY factor itself changes to Mahila and Yuva.
Correct, exactly.
And we're going to quote Sandeep ji very aggressively, and I'm going to borrow him, because he said, one, who's got the trust factor? Yes, unemployment is an issue. Who does a Bihar voter trust will solve this issue for us. The second one is the alliance chemistry. Now, this alliance chemistry is far more visible within the NDA than anybody everybody else. We also to show you Rahul Shivshankar. Good early morning. Yeah, you're walking on a good day and a good time.
Well, the EVMs are not having such a great time, unfortunately, because we've already got the Congress stepping in and saying that, look, when you delete a large number of voters, etc., there's going to be a problem. And of course,
you saw the vote share,
the
right?
EVMs.
You saw the vote share. Now have a look at the YouTube numbers. We got to flaunt it a little, because when it swings one way, it swings one way. Just putting out these numbers as Rahul walks in. See, 1 lakh.
Good omen.
1,18,000 concurrent views. So from 83 to 1,18,000, 1,14,000. That's where the numbers are. Viewers, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The numbers have been consistent through the
over 1,14,000 concurrent views. Please keep watching. Please keep staying on with us. Now we are also adding muscle. So Rahul Shivshankar also walks into this election broadcast where the trends are very
I've been looking at some of the trends that have been coming through. A large number of preconceived notions are now collapsing. So you are seeing also in Simanchal inroads that have been made into seats that were actually RJD and Congress bastions. That tells you that substantially there is also this huge talk about, you see, constant Muslim bastion, this, that, the other.
In Simanchal
that's what I'm
last time
saying.
around. So in Simanchal, the JDU...
But then where is the Muslim vote going?
So no, the polarization...
Is it the Muslim vote?
The polarization works both ways, right?
That's right.
But there's a reverse polarization that happens.
But Zaka, the turnouts in these seats in Simanchal were much higher. 10, 12, 15% higher.
That's correct.
And then when you look at Bhojpur, have a look at Bhojpur. There are changes taking place in Bhojpur. There are changes taking place in Mithilanchal. So clearly, obviously, there is a coalition that is coming through and a positive message is being rewarded.
No, absolutely. Look, I've been saying this since morning. When the NDA and particularly the JDU is doing well across regions, then you know it's pulling its weight. It's going towards closer to perhaps even a 2/3 sort of a situation. And if this numbers hold, they might actually get to a 2/3 majority.
The BJP holding its own, is it becoming the default party of choice in Bihar, slowly and steadily? Is that what we're seeing?
So it's 75 to the JDU is now currently the higher party, the larger party in the alliance. The BJP is at 72, LJP at 14. So that's 29 seats that he fought. He's leading in currently, but the JDU and I keep pointing, they had 43 last time.
This is a 50% strike rate.
It's a 50% strike rate.
Adding to the JDU turnout also, because remember it really undercut the JDU in almost those many seats.
The JDU had 43, up 32 from last time.
I think, see, once you have like a alliance leading in of the seats and you have them 50% plus vote share, I think every sort of caste blocks, everything is going to be flattened. So I don't think that is going to be any different. I think what seems to be happening in favor of the NDA is basically a combination of everything working together. So it looks like at 10 a.m.
You're saying that the Yadav vote has stuck to the RJD. Is that what you're saying? I don't think that could be the outcome when you're beginning to lose. Look,
all parties have serious social base. That's why they exist in society, right? So Yadav and Muslims will stick to RJD, but at 50% vote share, there will be a chipping away of some Yadav votes also towards NDA, right? So 80% Yadav, but when the population is crossing 50% mark, then it's basically going to be gained across segments.
You know the incremental vote which the BJP has got, and I think here BJP, I mean the NDA has got, I think we must really take into account what the SIR has done, because by eliminating at least the dead voters, you know, you might think, but having fought elections, I can tell you how important that is, because whoever has the might in the locality ensures that the dead come alive on election day.
Especially in West Bengal.
West Bengal is of course a classic example of that, but Bihar, you see, Bihar has moved away from violence to quiet manipulation. And here, I don't think that has been eliminated entirely, but at least what has happened is that here, there has been a far more level playing field which has been in existence. And that has resulted...
Mr. Das Gupta, at least a 5%, if you
discount,
discount the SIR, there's at least a 5% jump in turnout, which is clearly having an impact.
Which has moved in favor of the BJP.
So this coalition has been better at effectively mobilizing its own voters. That's something that we can say, and is that on the back of a positive?
That's what I'm saying. That's the pattern from Delhi, Haryana, Maharashtra. This has been the pattern. You mobilize every available supporter to turn out.
BJP state chief's first reactions coming through. Let's listen in.
सवाल बीजेपी स्टेट प्रेसिडेंट इज विद अस दिलीप जी, जो रुझान है इनिशियल रुझान वो आपके फेवर में लग रहे हैं, कैसे देखते हैं?
नहीं, वो तो जनता ने मन बना लिया था। जनता ने मन बना लिया था कि फिर एक बार एनडीए की सरकार बनानी है, और ये आज नहीं, आज करीब एक महीने से अंदाज लग रहा था कि जनता एक तरफा जो है, जो हमने विकास के काम किए हैं, जो कानून का राज दिया है, उस पर जनता विश्वास कर रही है।
बिहार में आप घूमे हैं, क्या ऐसे मुद्दे आपको लगे 3-4 जो लोगों को बिल्कुल लगे हैं और जिस पर उन्होंने वोट किया है?
कानून का राज, दूसरा नीतीश कुमार जी ने विकास का काम जो किया है, और तीसरा नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जिस तरह से केंद्र डबल इंजन की सरकार में केंद्र का मदद बिहार को दिया है, बिहार के जनता ने मोदी जी के गारंटी पर भरोसा।
अलायंस की जो परफॉर्मेंस है उसे कैसे देखते हैं आप?
हमें
BJP chief, of course, it is a big credit to him and his team that they managed this. But look at the map of Bihar. It's either green or it's saffron all the way. It's the JDU and the BJP, the NDA alliance, which is sweeping this election. 166 is 2/3 majority for something that we haven't seen in the last many elections. But therein also there is a story where it is the JDU which is emerging as the senior partner in that sense. 75 to the JDU and
look
72.
Look at the east of the state, Nalin. Look at the east of the state.
So absolutely, Rahul Zaka. So when you look at the region-wise map of Bihar, barring Bhojpur, in every single region of Bihar, Bhagalpur, Magad, Mithila, Simanchal, Tirut, you were saying the east of state, it's a sweep for the NDA. Only in Bhojpur they're neck and neck, but even there they're leading. There are about 7-8 seats.
Look, I've also been told that there are about 60 seats where the leads are very narrow.
That's
so
true.
there's
But when I'm looking at the vote share data at the moment,
but the
vote share data at the moment is around 24-25%. If that holds, it's about 4-5% more than what they had in Lok Sabha.
Absolutely.
Interestingly,
and that's why I'm asking, are more voters that were traditional voters, Mr. Shastri, traditional voters of the MGB, actually now moving away? Is there a greater coalition forming at the social level? That's a fun, and I think we'll have a look at those filters. But yes,
if the NDA is leading now in 168 seats, obviously there are several factors which have come in to allow that to happen. And yes, I think the social calculus in Bihar is changing. The MY vote may have gone to the JDU, but I'm sure a chunk of it has moved to the NDA also. And the NDA has built a social coalition of all groups, upper caste, backward caste, most backward castes have moved with them, and that has contributed to these numbers which we are seeing.
So we're looking at the M factor, the Mahila factor. These are 124 seats where the women have outvoted the men by 10% or more. There, in the 124 seats, 95 of those seats are going to the NDA, only 26 to the India Alliance. That's a 3/4 to, kind of a situation,
And most of these are second
voting
phase
blocks that have been added to the NDA.
these are all second phase polling. That's correct. These are all second phase
So I'd be interested to find out what's really happening in the Yadav dominated seats. Any ideas, Nalin, from your data, what's happening in that filter? Because these are seats where
I'll just look at
I think this election has perhaps been won and lost, to be honest.
So the sense that I have is that the Yadav vote has stayed with the RJD. It's just that unlike Akhilesh Yadav in UP, Rahul, Tejashwi Yadav over here not built a broader social coalition. So he's remained stuck with Yadavs and
in
the
fact,
Muslims.
the JDU
and he's remained
cut down
stuck
the
at
number of
Yadav,
Yadav seats that
these are the Tejashwi Yatra seats. They are not necessarily Yadav dominated seats. But again, in the Tejashwi Yatra seats, remember he went on a separate Yatra after Rahul Gandhi, after that whole vote Adhikar Yatra. He went on a separate one after that. Even in those seats, it's the NDA which has substantial number of 46 to 20, and there, look at the JDU. The JDU is 30 and the BJP only 12. So traditional JDU seats where RJD was hoping to make inroads, expand the caste coalition, Tejashwi Yadav has not been able to do that.
Rahul, the vote share data is showing us that RJD currently is at 22.94%, which by the way was the exact percentage it had in the Lok Sabha election and about a little bit less than what it had in 2020. What that's telling us is that while it's retaining that vote percentage, its seat share getting stuck. It's telling us that its support base has remained stuck with only core constituencies of Yadavs and Muslims. They have not been able to attract other castes or other social groups.
I think they are losing some Yadav votes. Simple arithmetic. Last time they had 38% vote add VIP to it, it's around 39-40. This time, if they are around 35% vote share, it means that the India coalition has lost 5% vote. And that's much more likely to come from Yadav than Muslims.
That's right. And the point that I was trying to make earlier was that there is a definite movement towards perhaps a positive message. I don't think Rahul Gandhi's message of an SIR being the, malfeasant, this thing of the election commission has worked. I don't think it has worked at all.
The number of votes for women actually were cut under the SIR. And they have outvoted the men in this election. So how do you explain
Yes,
that?
both of you,
And where they are losing the Yadav votes, I do think that we'll come back to what we started off in the morning, that Mahila cuts across caste lines, right? So a lot of that has moved towards the NDA, that's one. And second, it is also about credibility. Of course, Tejashwi's newness has gone, but in terms of credibility also, when he's offering jobs, because that was a big factor when we started off in the morning, are people buying the job narrative? But the problem here is that where are they coming from? Where are the jobs going to come from? People saw what happened in Karnataka and the trust simply did not build.
Yes. If there is a 5% drop of the India Alliance vote, it could also be the non-Yadav OBC which partly was with the India Alliance has moved.
No, but I think what Rahul Verma is saying is that there is a traditional vote base.
Dropping 2-3%. Other parties.
Other parties.
RJD is holding its vote. RJD
I think is holding its vote.
Okay. Rahul, I want to make a quick point on the SIR impact. Two things. Our reporters told us on the ground that it was not resonating on the ground. Rahul Gandhi was campaigning. When you look at the seats affected by SIR in particular, NDA sweeping those seats, 76 to NDA versus India Alliance 28 seats. So about 108.
Let me just quickly go across to Pallavi. She has the first reaction coming out of the RJD, I believe. Pallavi.
That's right. I've got Mr. Mrityunjay Tiwari with us at this point of time. सबसे पहले क्या कांग्रेस को साथ लेके आप लोगों के ऊपर भारी पड़ा?
अभी तो शुरुआती रुझान है. अभी थोड़ा 1-2 घंटे और इंतजार करते हैं.
काफी रुझान से काफी साफ हो गया है कि किस तरफ हवा चली है.
ये है हवा का रुख कई बार पलटा है और 2015 के विधानसभा चुनाव के परिणाम, इसलिए हमें पूरा यकीन विश्वास है हम महागठबंधन की सरकार बनाएंगे.
तो आप देख लेंगे, लेकिन मैं आपसे सिर्फ ये सवाल 2 पूछना चाहती हूँ बहुत जल्दी. एक, क्या आपको लगता है कि कांग्रेस ने जिस तरह से देरी की तेजस्वी यादव को मुख्यमंत्री का चेहरा बनाने में, उसका थोड़ा बहुत नुकसान हुआ? अगर ऐसा नहीं करते तो शायद आपके चांसेस और अच्छे होते. और दूसरा, वोट चोरी बार बार उन्होंने ही उठाया, आप लोगों ने तो उतना उठाया नहीं.
अभी ये सारे सवालों का जवाब देना हम उचित नहीं समझते हैं जब तक पूरे परिणाम का इंतजार नहीं करते.
आपको लगता है कि पहले उनका अनाउंसमेंट हो जाना चाहिए था मुख्यमंत्री का चेहरा?
आप
इतना तो मान लीजिए.
नहीं, कैसे मान सकते हैं? अभी हम कह रहे हैं हम सरकार बनाने जा रहे हैं. थोड़ा इंतजार कीजिए, सारे चीजों का जवाब देंगे.
अच्छा, आखिरी सवाल, क्या आपको लगता है, मैं वही सवाल दोबारा पूछ रही हूँ आपसे, क्या आपको लगता है कांग्रेस को थोड़ा सा पहले उनको अनाउंस कर देते और एडवांटेज होता?
देखिए थोड़ा इंतजार कीजिए, सब क्लियर हो जाएगा. इसमें कहीं कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
आप यहीं रहेंगे तब मुझे बात करोगे आप?
हम तो कह रहे हैं कि हम 2 घंटे के बाद सब सवालों का आपका जवाब दे देंगे.
चलो ठीक है, 2 घंटे बाद. As of now, I'm just getting, before I'm going to toss back to you, you can see the Laltain here, kind of little bit lit on, but the people over here are clued in to watch the television sets to get an idea of what the results are. You heard what Mrityunjay Tiwari had to say. Incidentally, he was one of the first persons who had insisted that the Congress party must announce Tejashwi Yadav as the CM face. He's not saying much now, but I think that hint is very much there. The RJD certainly was very upset with a lackluster campaign.
Well, they're being a little restrained here in trying to suggest that they didn't get the arithmetic right or whether the Congress was a liability. So that's a very instructive interview there. Let me go straight across to Arun Dhata, who's there with us, with a BJP MP from the BJP headquarters in Patna. Arun, over to you.
Yes, Rahul. I am at the BJP headquarters in Patna, and we have BJP's MP Manan Mishra with us. Manan ji, अभी we were listening to Mrityunjay Tiwari, RJD के जो नेता हैं, वो अभी भी ये कह रहे हैं कि आप इंतजार कीजिए, हमारी जीत होने वाली है.
देखिए, अब वो मृत्युंजय तिवारी, तेजस्वी जो भी कहें,
लेकिन नतीजे सामने है, रुझान आपके सामने है, इसमें कोई बहुत बड़ा बदलाव आने को नहीं है। एनडीए की सरकार पूर्ण बहुमत से 2/3 से भी ज़्यादा से हम बनाएंगे और ये अब सामने है। अब तेजस्वी कुछ भी कहें, उनके लोग कुछ भी कहें, उसमें कोई जान नहीं।
आरोप ये भी लगा जो आपने 10,000 रुपए की जो स्कीम थी आपकी कि आप रिश्वत दी है आपने उसके थ्रू लोगों को, आपने वोट खरीदे हैं।
महिलाओं को अपने पांव पे खड़ा होने के लिए वो दिया गया, वो रिश्वत नहीं है, वो एक विकास के रास्ते में वो एक काम, अच्छा काम किया गया। तो उसको आप रिश्वत, ये तेजस्वी कुछ भी कहें, राहुल कुछ भी कहें, उसका कोई असर जनता पर नहीं है।
इस परफॉर्मेंस के लिए क्या आप मुद्दे अहम मानते हैं जो इस तरह के एनडीए की परफॉर्मेंस रही है?
लगातार माननीय मोदी जी के और नीतीश जी के नेतृत्व में महिलाओं के विकास के लिए, बुजुर्गों के लिए, युवाओं के लिए जो काम लगातार किए गए, आम जन के लिए, आप बिहार की सड़कें देख लीजिए, बिहार में बिजली की उपलब्धता देख लीजिए, ये सारे काम जब आप देखेंगे तो ये सबका एक मिला जुला असर जनता के दिमाग में था। जो उन्होंने बटन दबा के 6 तारीख को, 11 तारीख को एनडीए की सरकार पूर्ण बहुमत के साथ बनाने का निर्णय लिया, वही असर।
और जो आपके पार्टनर्स हैं अलायंस के, उनकी परफॉर्मेंस कैसे देखते हैं आप, क्योंकि अभी बीजेपी आगे है सबसे ज्यादा?
Well, friends, let's have a quick look now at the strike rates, because this really is the untold story of this election. We were perhaps not expecting this. Even those that suggested that this was going to be a tight one had suggested that the JDU would be the #1 party, but that the RJD would hold its own, that its strike rate would be up there, the Congress would add as a force multiplier, and therefore this was going to be a tight one. But there you can see it's the BJP that is a very high strike rate there of 74%. Remember, it's contesting fewer seats this time. The JDU also contesting 101 seats, but clearly outperforming its own self over 2020, and that's because the LJP and some of the other alliance partners within the NDA have been able to transfer their vote. So you're seeing that big comeback by Nitish Kumar, sentiment driven most probably, but it also does tell you that while the JDU is back with 71%, there is a message in this. If these numbers 572, that the BJP is now beginning to be seen as an also in. I remember this is the one state where the BJP has never come to power on its own. So is that changing? The RJD strike rate at 36%, it was at about 54% at the last 2020, and that was an election that was held during COVID. So there was a lot of dissident vote that came through, but that is a poor statistic for it. It's holding on to its vote base, but we don't know if more Muslims have voted for it, and therefore maybe a few Yadav votes have shifted, and that's why it's sort of, and there's Congress, very poor, underperforming, probably pulling that engine back. Let's go straight across to Shivani. Shivani, who joins me straight from Patna. Shivani, a big moment in this election, 4 or 5 rounds now down. These trends are holding, and this is not looking good for the MGB or the Congress in particular.
Absolutely. The Congress is going to be facing a lot of questions, Rahul, but you talked about that strike rate. The BJP strike rate currently better than the JDU. Will that make any difference to the equation on ground? Let me take that question directly to the BJP representative. बदलेगा क्या जो आपका इक्वेशन है नीतीश कुमार के साथ, because of the fact that BJP has a better strike rate right now than JDU?
This is a win for NDA under leadership of Narendra Modi ji. NDA collectively is winning.
Under leadership of
Narendra Modi ji. Narendra Modi ji is the one who is leading NDA throughout the country. और यहाँ भी मोदी जी का जादू चला है.
तो आप मानते
जीत रही है. NDA is winning. NDA is winning.
नहीं तो चीफ मिनिस्टर पे कुछ अब क्या होगा डिसीजन?
Chief Minister. You know, electing a chief minister is a process. It's a constitutional process. So the NDA, MLAs and parliamentary board has to decide this. How can I sitting on your camera decide about who?
No, but there you have it. There you have it. Now the BJP is saying that the parliamentary board and the MLAs will decide the chief minister. Till yesterday you were saying Nitish Kumar is your chief minister.
We fought under leadership of Narendra Modi ji. Nitish Kumar ji was our face in Bihar. But now the thing, parliamentary board and MLAs will be deciding who will be the chief minister.
So there you have it. I think the first difference of the equation on ground is already beginning to emerge, and this is going to become the topic now, whether the equation on ground will change and there will be a difference in the chief minister. आप कैसे बांटते हैं? आपके alliance partner कह रहे हैं भाई अब तो decide होगा, MLAs बीजेपी के ज्यादा MLAs हैं.
देखिए ये सारे एमएलए जानते हैं कि नीतीश कुमार जी ही चेहरा थे और उन्हीं के नेतृत्व में चुनाव लड़के सब जीत के आए हैं और 2005 से लगातार जनता का आशीर्वाद नीतीश कुमार को प्राप्त हुआ। जिस तरह नीतीश कुमार जी ने पिछड़ों के लिए, अति पिछड़ों के लिए, दलितों के लिए, अल्पसंख्यकों के लिए, महिलाओं के लिए काम किया है, ये सामाजिक न्याय की जीत है और 25 से 30 मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार जी बनेंगे, ये सारे विधानसभा, सारे जिलों में सारे एनडीए के नेताओं ने कहा है।
So, you know, the situation on the ground is now very clear. Yesterday when I spoke to the BJP Bihar president, he said Panch Pandav. They're calling their alliance an alliance of Panch Pandav. And in a way, all Panch Pandav have done well.
That's true.
But who's the Arjun out of that Pandavs is the big question.
Well,
and BJP certainly believes that they have hit the bullseye and they are the Arjun of this Mahabharat.
You know, the fact is right now, Shivani, that there will be a large number of local cadre who will get swept up by this emotion and maybe even veer towards hubris. But I think the Sena heads at the center and those that really shape this alliance will decide. Let's go straight across now to Arunima, who is also amongst a large number of people. JDU office, the JDU outperforming in this particular election. Arunima, big relief for Nitish.
Yes, so at the JDU office, there's a steady stream of supporters who are coming in. More and more JDU Karyakartas are now trooping into the office here. The district president has just walked in. Sanjay Jha, who's the JDU's working president, he is expected in a short while from now. जैसी उम्मीद थी कि JDU उभरेगी सबसे बड़ी पार्टी के हिसाब से एनडीए के अंदर, ऐसा लग रहा है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी JDU से आगे निकल जाएगी।
जी बिल्कुल, मुझे तो विश्वास है, लेकिन मैं ये भी कहना चाहता हूँ कि एनडीए एक हमारा एक परिवार है, ये साथ में चले, कोई आगे कोई पीछे रहे।
क्या तैयारी है यहाँ पे? पटाखे ले आए आप?
पटाखे का भी तैयारी है, मिठाई का भी तैयारी है, लड्डू का भी तैयारी है, ढोल बाजे का भी तैयारी है। नीतीश कुमार मुख्यमंत्री थे और रहेंगे, टाइगर अभी जिंदा है।
अच्छा, नीतीश कुमार मुख्यमंत्री रहेंगे अगर बीजेपी के ज्यादा लोग जीत कर आए जेडीयू के मुकाबले, क्या तब भी नीतीश ही मुख्यमंत्री रहेंगे?
देखिए, बीजेपी कितना सीट गया है, मेरा एनडीए का साथी है और ये तय है कि पूरा एनडीए तय कर लिया है, पूरा बिहार कि नीतीश कुमार ही सीएम रहेंगे। तो दूसरा नहीं बनेगा, नीतीश कुमार ही रहेंगे।
लेकिन आपने कहा था 25 से 30, फिर से नीतीश 30 तक रहेंगे नीतीश?
बिल्कुल रहेंगे। जब बिहार की जनता ने उन पर अपना बेशुमार प्यार लौटाया, उन्होंने 20 सालों में जो काम किया, 20 साल में सत्ता रहने के बाद इतनी बड़ी बहुमत से जीत, जब कुमार उसका परिणाम है कि नीतीश कुमार पुनः गद्दी पे बैठने वाले हैं और उनके लिए गद्दी का मतलब है जनता की सेवा, ना कि निजी स्वार्थ।
Okay, so here at the JDU office, the Karyakartas don't care whether the BJP gets more numbers or the JDU gets more numbers. They are sure that it is Nitish Kumar who will be the chief minister, and not just the chief minister temporarily. Their view is that he's going to continue his full term. But this is definitely a debating point right now, whether NDA will see a change of guard sooner rather than later.
Sooner or rather than later, well, that's a point, because remember, there is also an equation at the center that needs to be maintained. Arunima, thank you very much for that. Let me just go straight across to Zach. Zach?
So on the Modi factor that you were asking, the rallies that the Prime Minister did in Bihar, he had about 13-14 rallies. It plots to about 90 odd seats, and look at it. I mean, it's a runaway lead for the NDA. 67 out of those 4 seats the NDA is leading. And if you look at, the breakup between JDU, helping the JDU as much as it is helping the BJP, and it's across regions. It is in the eastern part of the state, which we were talking about, Trihut, which is the JDU stronghold. The central part of the state, the JDU has picked up a lot of seats. There's also a few seats up in the Champaran. So if you look at the Modi factor, it has made a significant difference.
It's kicking in. So obviously the trust factor, the credibility is important. Yes, sir, you wanted to make a point, Nalin.
Add to this point, if you compare this Modi factor to 2020, you will see that the potency of this increased significantly. In the last election, in the rallies and seats that Modi campaigned on, and there's always a difference between a Vidhan Sabha election and a Lok Sabha election. In the last Vidhan Sabha, it was even Stevens, and it was a difficult seat.
It was
this time, it's a complete sweep.
There you go. It was a neck and neck, even though the India Alliance had a slightly higher
and that was
share,
a COVID election.
It was a COVID
so
election.
There was disaffection.
fewer rallies also.
And yeah, fewer rallies, and also the migrants were sort of, and let's have a look actually at that migrant filter.
This time's Modi map, and the result of that is looking very similar to what happened a year ago in 2024. The similar seats and similar results.
So it's like almost like a two kind of a seat share breakup.
Yeah, that's a great for me personally in his brand. Of course, also hit the tracks there in Simanchal. That might have actually led a lot to the polarized nature of that particular outcome. But Nistula, did you see this coming?
Yes, I did. It was pretty clear, and I went fairly early in the election cycle because we had like people going in batches, and I said I'll go first. I went there even before the seat adjustment had been announced, and it was, as I said earlier also, this was
this the
an
first
election
mover's
around
advantage?
Nitish Kumar.
Do you think it was the first mover's advantage?
I think everything worked for them, but there was also a huge overhang of sentimentality around Nitish. And there was a feeling among his voters that the last time they may have failed him, but this time they need to get him on par with the BJP so that there's no question about who's going to be the chief minister.
Yeah, I think there are just two words that explain this election in a simple way: entitlement and tone deaf. I suspect the Congress and Tejashwi said, I'm sorry to use Hindi the sentence, but mere baap. And I think that tone deafness, where they thought just by getting together they were going to win, that entitlement is going to cause them damage. Take a simple example of SIR. They kept going, and I mean, you know, my way or highway, people say highway. But SIR, there are people who may not want
more information on leads coming in through Griha. Atul, let me go straight across to Griha, who's in the hub, in the live result hub. Griha.
Yes, we have an update on Tejashwi Yadav. We do know that he's leading from Raghopur, but there are 30 rounds of counting, EVM countings that are going to happen. Right now, it's just the first round, and he's leading only by 893 votes so far, Rahul. We also have an update on Maithili, another star candidate of the Bharatiya Janata Party. She maintains her lead. Again, first round of counting that is on, and the lead is only by 1826 votes. And there is a neck and neck that's going on as the RJD candidate Kesari is right now struggling to maintain that lead. So he is trailing. Choti Kumari of BJP is leading as far as Chhapra is concerned. So how the fight really remains. But in very many of the constituencies, if we take a look at the constituencies where BJP is leading, there are about 6 rounds of counting that have taken place in a lot many of the BJP constituencies that we have, particularly in Muzaffarpur, where we see right now 3 rounds, and in Orai we have 6 rounds of counting completed so far. So it is a quick counting that is happening in very many of BJP seats.
What are you making out on the number of rounds in most of the seats? Is it 50%? Are we seeing more than 6, around 6, or is it fewer than that?
So that's what I was mentioning, Rahul, that wherever BJP is leading, we do see that the number of rounds of counting has in fact gone up to 6. And I mentioned Orai over here. There are some more seats where BJP is leading, where we do see how the number of the rounds of counting has increased. There you see in Sahibganj as well, where you have Raju Kumar Singh leading by 3,824 votes. There the 5th round of counting is happening. If I take a look at where RJD is leading, right now the maximum number of rounds so far is 3rd round, which is going on in Mahishi and also in Kurhani. These are the 2 places.
That's very interesting. Zach, what do you make of that?
Youth factor. I mean, we've been talking about migrant labor. So we looked at the top 10 districts where there is outflow of young people in the age group of 18 to 29, and it plots to about 90 odd seats. And if you look at it, Rahul, again, a bulk of these migrant seats are in the northern part of the state. They're either in Mithilanchal or they're up in the
Kosi region.
Yeah, and then there is, of course, a couple of these districts like Rohtas, etc. in the south. But again, look at the numbers. The NDA at 71 out of these 97 seats. The India Alliance only 25. And the point also being that last time people were willing to give the RJD a chance because they had 19 seats more. They had 44 seats in the same migrant labor belt last time around. They're almost 20 seats down this time. All of that has gone.
These are
to the
young
NDA.
voters.
Young voters.
Perhaps up till about 35. They were supposed to go the other way.
Exactly.
They were not responsive to Nitish.
It's not working.
It's not working.
It's not worked for the RJD.
So are we seeing, Swapan Das Gupta, are we seeing the young invest in the future by suggesting that these are the people who can actually do something for us?
Well, I think
rather
the
than
young-
just be swayed
young
by their
and the
circumstance.
migrants and most of the other castes are basically moving with a general tide. I don't think there's anything specific here.
No, because
I think-
unemployment was a
I
big
think that
issue.
was a big
and,
issue.
you know.
But they feel that there is a better hope.
That's right.
For them. You know, the
Yeah.
credibility.
So they're investing in hope.
The credibility of the NDA was greater than the credibility of the
So brand
RJD.
Modi and brand Nitish represent certain
They
things.
complement each other in various ways. And I think, you know, much of the conjecture about whether Nitish will be upstaged in a palace coup at this moment is grossly premature. Given the nature of these results.
Improbable though?
I think they are, at present, this is unlikely to happen, partly because there's a resounding verdict, and if a chief minister who's been responsible, who's been a face of that campaign, is suddenly overthrown, it's just very, very
And
bad.
JDU currently
Let me try
is
and go across
more
to-
than the BJP.
That's an important point. That's a very important point. Also, now the JDU is sort of pulling
Currently
ahead.
higher
So
than the BJP.
You
between
see,
the
the
two of
JDU,
them,
I think I want to make a point. You see, the JDU as a grassroots entrenched party has been very feeble. It's been a party of leaders. This is probably the first election which we are seeing in which the JDU may, and I still say may, be acquiring some social depth.
okay,
This
that's
hasn't
interesting.
happened in the past.
That's a very interesting point.
Can I
Yes,
just
Mr.
make a-
Shastri, I also want to go across to Sohail Seth on a particular point that he was raising. Yes.
I was just making a small point, which is an extension of what Swapanji did and what we have been saying in the morning. There is a clear trust quotient which the NDA has, especially when it comes to this youth voter. There was this discussion, which direction the youth vote go in, how would they express their position. I think that trust has been expressed in the leadership of the NDA, and that's coming out clearly in where
We've
the
had four
migrant
elections after
voter
the
constituencies have
2024
gone.
setback for the NDA. And in those three, you've seen a sweep literally for the NDA.
Haryana,
and that,
Maharashtra.
Yes, and Delhi, of course.
now
The
the
only
fourth
state was Jammu and Kashmir, where in Jammu they did fantastically well. In Kashmir, they couldn't sort of make those as inroads as they were hoping to. But Zaka, that's significant, isn't it? The fact that another very critical election in the Hindi heartland,
Correct.
where this particular alliance had stumbled in 2024, even the heartland
They've
now
come back.
responded.
No, I think it's also the BJP's way of saying that 2024 general elections were a blip. There was something that went wrong, it did, and that's why they came down to 240 from 303. But now it's,
all those problems.
yeah, now they
I
have
think that's
responded
really
to
they
those
see.
problems. and
They've learned
corrected
those
problems.
and they've attended.
Well, keep watching YouTube. Your viewership has really counted on a day when we are counting sentiment across the board. So thank you very much, viewers, for staying with us. But Zach, I just want to come back to you because you're the data care. And I want to ask you a couple of questions fundamentally. Where is that vote, that woman vote going in those constituencies that matter?
No, it's overwhelmingly going to the NDA. I mean, out of 124 seats, which is half the Vidhan Sabha, half the state, where women have outvoted men by 10%, it's going overwhelmingly in favor of the NDA. Look at this, 97 out of those 124. And these, mind you, are pickups from 2020. 24 of those are pickups from 2020. So if you were to go by just the 2020 results, then this number, instead of 97, would be about 73. And that perhaps would have made a difference, because this is going all across the different regions of Bihar, and particularly a cluster of these JDU seats. Even in that, if you were to break up and see which of the parties are leading, the BJP has 43 out of those 97, the JDU has 41, the LJP 10, and these women, particularly in the second of polls, whether it's in the northern part, in some parts
Even
of
in Simanchal.
here in Trihut as well, here in the eastern part of the state, they've ended up winning a lot more seats compared to 2020. You want to replicate this map from 2020? Just go back and look at the
even
2020
in the Anga region,
in these same seats, and look at the NDA.
Zaka, even in the Anga region, which is the southern region on the eastern side, you have a few of the NDA seats, BJP seats opening up. You also have JDU seats there. That's very interesting, because that suggests that even traditional voters of the RJD, perhaps even amongst the Yadav women, are not sticking to caste. They are going for something different. And you can see most of that even in Simanchal, Zach.
Yeah.
if you look very closely, there are now blips of orange. There you can see it in that central corridor of Simanchal, and it comes down to the Anga region, and you can see those gains.
And look at this thing for the JDU, the large number of seats that the JDU has got in this pocket, and a large number of seats that the BJP has got in this pocket.
So you're talking about the Kosi Mithilanchal belt.
This belt again. Here the JDU seems to have done well, and here the BJP seems to have done well. But I think
so. When we categorize Mahilas in our data bank, what do we mean by this? Are we saying
in
that
these 124 constituencies? Let me go back to the original. In these 124 constituencies, the women have outvoted the men by 10%, which means for every 10 male voters, there were 11 female voters. So there's one extra
given
voter
the fact
every
that
10
there was
voters.
actually an extra voter this time, or two maybe, in some places, more than men. This is not just turnout, this is absolute numbers.
These belts, where the women dominated, it seems to have gone overwhelmingly in favor of the NDA.
Nalin.
When we're looking at turnout figures and juxtapose them with stronghold seats, you look at JDU strongholds, and by stronghold I'm defining them as seats which the party has won for the three times in a row. In BJP strongholds and in JDU strongholds, the turnout percentage has been much higher in terms of the ratio of that compared to RJD strongholds.
So is there now a degree of disaffection or fatigue with the message that the MGB was putting out, or with the leadership itself?
But is there a message that they put out?
Well, I mean, at one level they were focusing. I mean, let's be honest. It's not as if Bihar is streaked ahead on certain parameters. So we should be honest about that.
But there was
and their message was that, look, we can create the jobs that haven't been created in 20 years.
But the message was, we are not Nitish, and we are not Modi. But there was no
the point is
credible
that they were
plan.
highlighing a deficit. Now, why haven't people...
I've got a point to make on this, that if you look at, and let's look at this seriously. If you look at the promises the Mahagathbandhan was making, they were making even more promises than the NDA, right? And it would have cost them about 60,000 crores. 36,000 crores is the cost of the promises that the NDA has made. The problem with that kind of messaging is that it's just Me Too messaging. There was no coherent vision of a development of a state level. You were saying that, okay, these guys give you this, I'll also give you this, a little bit that. But there was also a memory of Jungle Raj that came back. So in that, and also I think this alliance is not a coherent alliance in the way that the NDA alliance came together. The Congress and the
you were asking about the stronghold seats. So
yeah.
the JDU at its worst performance last time, they had 43, of which 24 seats they have never lost in the last 3 elections. 21 of those 24 seats the JDU has managed to retain. So which means that's almost a 90%, 90 plus strike rate. So 21 out of 24, of which 20 are JDU, 1 to the BJP, which means that this party has come back literally almost from the brink, because last time, you know, they were down to just 43 seats. This time they've come up to, right now if you look at the state, they're currently the single biggest party. The last time I checked, they were at 74 and BJP at 73. So 75 and 73. So which means that not only does Nitish Kumar get another term, but I think the JDU from 43 to 75, that's a significant, it's the biggest gainer of this election.
Let's have a look at these swing seats, because that gives you an idea of really the switches that have taken place, if at all. So let's pull out the swing seats, because there were about 53, if I'm not mistaken, Zach, that were settled by 2%. There was a difference there. So let's have a look at those swing seats, because they give you an idea of transference. So if a particular mandate is turning, it's the swing seats that will give you the best idea of just how much the mood has changed.
We were also talking about it in the morning. I think one of the reasons why the alliance did not work was because the two principal parties, the RJD and in this case the Congress, were hell-bent on two different issues. The RJD kept talking about unemployment and youth and migration and so on, and the Congress, you know, chose to make SIR the biggest issue. And if you look at the SIR, it's had very minimal impact. Look at that again. I mean, if you were to go back to the overall state, out of the 106 seats where the SIR impact was felt most, the NDA had 78, which means that, look, I'm not saying that the issue was not alive or important back in August, where people were saying, you know, we can't find these documents that the Election Commission is asking. But once that issue is settled in September, then no one was talking about the SIR. The SIR was not a matter of concern, because I have got my voter ID, I have my name in the list, and I can go and vote.
So many people were saying, I think it was Nistula who was making that point, that perhaps this was done to detract attention from Tejashwi itself, because there is a sort of internecine competition. Is that what really happened?
Yes, through the Voter Adhikar Yatra, a lot of the crowds it was being seen was, of course, generated by the RJD, which has a cadre in all these areas. And before the Gandhi Maidan final, it seems the father and son, Lalu Prasad Yadav, Tejashwi, had a heated conversation, and he told him that the father told him that it's not your job to make sure that Rahul Gandhi is a leader. You have to ensure that you remain the leader. So at the Gandhi Maidan, the final Congress guys were there, but very few RJD. They didn't turn up. He didn't turn up. And then directly after that, he set off on his own yatra. Tejashwi set off on his own yatra, and there were no other allies who travelled with him.
I've got an alert. This is again related to the elections, but we're now trending not just on YouTube, but we're trending #1 on Twitter. We're the most watched Indian channel now on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram Live. And of course, we said in this morning that we are #1 on YouTube as well.
It's the guests.
Also because of our guests.
It's the guests.
Also because of our guests. So we're leading in all social media platforms now. So wherever you're watching, thank you viewers for reposing your trust and your faith once again in India's #1 election destination, that is CNN News 18. Yes.
Yes. I want to make a point, Zakir.
Yes.
We are referring to trust. And I think this election is also about the trust quotient which we have been talking about since morning. There have been a galore of promises made by different political parties. And this result indicates that the trust in the promises made by the NDA is something which seems to have appealed to the people.
Much more.
For two reasons. One, the performance of the government in the last 5 years, especially when it came to the Mahila vote, it's not just about that 10,000, but what was done by the party earlier.
Before.
And secondly, in the case of the
But it was also about the 10,000. A lot of people will say that you got 10,000 into your account in September with the promise of perhaps more. You know that
I'm also, before that 10,000, there was a lot that was done for women.
Yes, of course. Stage of a woman's life. Through intermediate, right up till the time she got married and beyond.
The program.
That's right.
And the number of people who benefited from that. And secondly, in the case of the BJP, their projection of what they are doing in the other states and at the national level. I think both these factors led to this trust quotient.
You may underestimate the power of the woman vote. A large number of men are outside of the state. They are the remittance banks really of that economy. And they make most of the decisions at home. So we do underestimate that sentiment. Yes.
I want to make a point here that 6 months ago, the NDA took a call on what was going wrong, and they took corrective measures. Right? The scheme for 10,000
So what was going
bucks,
wrong?
all of that, the administrative measures, electricity, of a slew of measures. Swapan has been saying they got the caste. I'm going to give you 2 data points to illustrate this. If you look at the seats where there are friendly fights, whatever a friendly fight means in an election, 11 such, NDA is winning 8 of those.
There you go.
And then if you look at RJD strongholds, it's the seats which RJD has won last 3 times in a row, it's losing half of those. It's 5-5. That's telling you
JDU,
how they fought the election and how the NDA has fought the election.
At least at the JDU headquarters in Patna, they've called the election. Arunima, over to you.
I can't hear you very clearly, but if you have come to me, the JDU Daftar, the JDU office is suddenly teeming with supporters, slogans, and also, people who are busy giving sound bites. This entire JDU office currently, there are various workers in small groups who are, cheering Nitish Kumar on. Nitish Kumar ही अगले मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे।
बिल्कुल कहीं कोई शक समाधान का कोई सवाल ही नहीं है और पूर्ण बहुमत में एनडीए की सरकार मुख्यमंत्री के पद की बागडोर
की क्या तैयारी है?
तैयारी बहुत बड़ा है, बहुत बड़ा जश्न होगा। अभी 1-2 घंटा इंतजार कीजिए, बहुत बड़ी तैयारी है।
Okay, so they were telling me that there are laddus being prepared. क्या है? विपक्ष उड़ गया,
एकदम हवा
पहले ही से उड़ा हुआ है, पहले ही से, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है। पहले ही से उनका हालत खराब है। ललटेन बुझ गया मैडम।
विपक्ष पहले थी ही नहीं कभी, सिर्फ यहाँ पर
विपक्ष रही है और कमल खिल रहा है
विपक्ष को एकदम बिल्कुल 50-52 सीट
अभी जिंदा है, टाइगर अभी जिंदा है। नीतीश कुमार जब तक मुख्यमंत्री हैं, वैकेंसी किसी के लिए खाली नहीं है। नीतीश कुमार मुख्यमंत्री थे, हैं और रहेंगे.
Acha, so you know, there are loud slogans, the flags are out. One comment there is, तीर लालटेन को बुझा दिया है. Lalten is the RJD symbol. Teer is the symbol of the JDU. Even though Bharatiya Janata Party, the other alliance partner in NDA, is doing equally well, the JDU office, the Karyakarta's mood is that this vote is for Nitish Kumar. And on expected lines, the entire office is decked up with Nitish Babu's picture, Sushasan Babu's picture, and all across this JDU office, that is the sentiment that this Nitish Kumar, this vote is for him.
Well, those crowds will build up, but I just want to caution our viewers once again that look, we're still in a large number of seats, still in the early rounds, so 3, 4, and I don't want to sort of suggest that 2015 is going to happen once again, but it might. We never know. India is an open democracy where every vote counts, and in this particular election there has been a turnout bump. So things can still change. The RJD still believes that they're in this contest. The JDU has called it for their leader, who they say Tiger is still Zinda. Not
Rahul,
yes.
I just want to make a point about the lack of the circumspection in the RJD camp. You know, they haven't yet started the process of bloodletting, etc. There's a very practical issue involved. If the moment the RJD or the sort of beleaguered force concedes defeat, what you have is their in the counting centers all deserting en masse.
Right.
And that is a catastrophic thing. So as far as they are concerned, they will till the very last moment maintain the pretense that we are in the fight, that these are early days, etc., etc. And because otherwise, you know,
everyone disappears.
It's bad for democracy.
Yes.
I think there's one point that also needs to be made, that if you look at the top 3 BJP in terms of public persona, Honorable PM, HM and Yogi ji, look at the number of rallies they did and how many hours a day they were campaigning versus Tejashwi or Rahul Gandhi, who was
Rahul
sort of part-time.
Gandhi disappeared for 2 months.
Now,
he disappeared for
eventually
2 months.
the people want to see who they're voting for, and if you have no message, no presence, then guess what? There are no votes.
Well, people say that the Congress tried to play a different hand this time. They reached out more to OBCs and so on and so forth. There's a party that's trying to reorientate its strategy. So,
But still, you can
clearly
do
not.
things, right?
Clearly not. Rahul Verma, 3 cephalogical points from you.
I'll give you 5.
Five.
I think given the numbers we are
Everything
seeing,
in abundance this time.
Given the numbers we are seeing, one should basically call this a combination of factors. It's a perfect storm. NDA started with a bigger social coalition to start with. Second, they have an advantage on leadership, right? Like if you compare 2 national leaders from each side and 2 regional leaders, on both counts they have an advantage. They had schemes up to election. Fourth, I think opposition gave away this. They had some head start, but as the campaign progressed, they did not act
you're
like
saying combination. How would you back that? How would you say that the combination has worked? Is it because both the partners, the JDU and the BJP, have done better than perhaps even their own expectations, given the numbers here?
Both seem to be getting better. So they are contesting lesser seats, but their strike rates have gone up. Right, and not just JDU and BJP, even LJP, HAM and RLP is also pulling up the rate. So it seems like a perfect sort of like.
So it was interesting because some of the junior partners were sort of opposed to the fact that Chirag Paswan was getting these additional seats. There was that talk also.
Oh, but that kind of jostling should be between constituents.
Right.
No one is going to, everyone is
So you get the best deal for your own alliance.
Yeah, exactly. Like while maintaining your own presence,
just coming to you.
Right? It's always in an alliance, you should also get the best deal, an alliance should also get the best deal, right? Only then you will perform as a unit and win. So it's everything, and then the schemes work, and then I am saying like opposition gave away this out. Their narrative was disparate, and so at the end the elections become competition between 2 sort of like units, and one look more credible.
Well, look at the numbers right now, friends. Just look at the numbers. 243 leads we've got, and out of that the NDA is leading on 175. The BJP and JDU within the NDA neck and neck, and that's a big number. The India bloc 63, underperforming even from last time, in an election that they were supposed to go toe to toe with the NDA. That's not happened. And if you really look at the Congress side of the fence down to 12, though the Congress is contesting a fewer number of seats this time, but marginally the left almost not pulling its weight there. The junior partners of the NDA doing exceedingly well. LJP 18 out of 28, that's a big number for the LJP. Knock-on effect means that the JDU is back in. This is a perfect storm that Rahul Verma was talking about. So at 10:45 in the morning, viewers, you have a situation where the NDA is very placed. Number of pollsters predicting a tight fight. We don't have the vote share numbers, do we, Nalin, at this moment? But I would like some of those vote share numbers. Okay, so just pull them out. Yes.
Thank Prashant Kishore.
So I want to ask you, Prashant Kishore factor. I was about to come to that, and I just want to take you guys all across this. Prashant Kishore, what happened? Who's he knocking on?
I don't know who's, in some ways, his campaign damaged Tejashwi's ability to emerge as a credible alternative.
To the youth, for the youth. So he's taken away. But how do we know? Because what is his vote share? Many people said that if that vote share exceeded 5%, he'd be trouble for the NDA.
No, sometimes things may not turn out, you may not be able to do precise calculation. But think of it. His campaign basically showed that Tejashwi, who himself is sort of like not well educated and that kind of things, how will he be able to deliver the biggest promise that he's making? So in some ways, it basically brings stability.
So the Prashant Kishore factor not kicking in, the third alternative not kicking in.
No, it's also more than that. I think the Congress in particular, as the leading opposition party in the country, must seriously reflect as to why it is being seen as an anti-growth party. And I think this is becoming more and more marked everywhere. Rahul Gandhi's diversions into pet issues of theirs is not having any effect on the ground. He might be cozying himself up to certain editorial writers, but it is not. Now look at the SIR issue. It was a non-issue which he's trying. He's trying to make the constitution, which for some fluke of a reason he managed to get some resonance in 24. He's trying to make that into a main issue. But there's been the larger issues which are there in the country have not been at all addressed by him. And as far as the economic issues are concerned, he's a blank. It's a complete blank.
So he doesn't have a positive roadmap for change.
They are moving, they are trying to emulate the left wing of the Democratic Party in the United States.
That's their role model. I thought you were going to come to that because that's the Mamdani sort of streak.
There is that streak,
yeah.
Which is a self-defeating proposition. Yeah. If it doesn't work in Bihar, it can't work anywhere else.
Far predates Mamdani.
Yeah, it predates.
That's true. It does. In fact, we don't know which populism has actually influenced which.
Prashant Kishore, I wanted to say he was one of the unknowns of this election. Nobody knew how much he would get, who he would hurt. The presumption was that because he was Prashant Kishore Pandey, that he would be hitting the BJP and the NDA Gadbandhan. But he has been pretty Catholic in terms of just out at everybody. He attacked BJP.
So I want to ask you, because the MGB...
These are the refugees of the...
Let's go across to Pavan Khera, the first real Congress reaction coming from the inner think tank. Let's listen.
Well, how do you assume this, that we believe it? As I said, the initial trends in itself show that Gyanesh Kumar Gupta appears to be succeeding against the people of Bihar.
अच्छा सर, चुनाव में इतनी मेहनत की, कार्यकर्ता आपका जो है वो बूथ पे लड़ा, उस कार्यकर्ता को कोई मैसेज
अभी देंगे, आप इंतजार करिए। अभी जैसा कि मैंने कहा, ये शुरुआती रुझान है और कार्यकर्ता भी समझ रहा है इस बात को कि ये लड़ाई बीजेपी, कांग्रेस, आरजेडी, जेडीयू की नहीं रही। अब ये लड़ाई सीधा ज्ञानेश कुमार गुप्ता और भारत की जनता की लड़ाई है। मैं एक सीट और एक पार्टी की बात ही नहीं कर रहा हूं, मैं एक विस्तृत बात कर रहा हूं कि ये बहुत बड़ी लड़ाई है।
कांग्रेस ने जितना जोर सीट बंटवारे में लगाया था, अपने हिस्सेदारी में लगाया था, आपको लगता है उतना आशानुकूल परिणाम?
मैं बार एक ही लाइन बोल रहा हूं, आप अलग अलग तरीके से कुछ भी पूछिए। ये चुनाव अब पार्टियों से ऊपर उठ चुका है। ये चुनाव सीधा चुनाव आयोग वर्सेस पीपल ऑफ इंडिया है, चुनाव आयोग वर्सेस पीपल ऑफ बिहार है।
अच्छा, टिकट वितरण में कहीं
अरे आप कहाँ आप दूसरी बातों पे आ गए, जब सीधी एक ही लाइन में सब कुछ समझ में आ रहा है, गागर में सागर है, तो फिर काहे यहाँ वहाँ की बात करें। थैंक यू।
Well, viewers, predictable Congress reaction. We could have written this yesterday, you could have written this tomorrow, you could have written this 6 months back, saying that at the end of the day, it's the Bihar voter against the election commission, damaging comment without any proof. The Supreme Court to come forward, submit a signed affidavit, submitted before the election commission with their proof, so that action can be taken, so that even the Supreme Court can scrutinize. But the Congress hasn't done so. Yesterday, viewers, the Election Commission put out a press release. The first 3 points of that press release talked about how absolutely zero complaints had been received by the Election Commission after the SIR or much after that when the final voter lists were put out. Also, when polling finished, there was not a single complaint by any of the political parties, let alone the opposition, about any manipulation. In fact, there's not going to even be one recount in all of Bihar, a huge achievement given the fact that this time there were only 2 phases. And Bihar is known to be a bit turbulent sometimes on the ground. But despite that, viewers, not one incident of manipulation, malfeasance that could have led to a repoll or violence, nothing. And here you have the Congress party trying to stir passions by suggesting that the people's vote has been stolen by an intermediary that is supposed to be the guardian of the democratic process. Nalin Mehta, this is not good. Sorry to say, this is Trumpian. This is what led to the insurgency in DC. I'm sorry, this is not a great message.
If you challenge every result, then you undermine the legitimacy of the entire system itself and the democratic framework itself.
Which is what they're doing.
And I don't think this issue is getting any resonance on the ground at all in terms of voters. The point I want to make, Rahul, is that what are the 2-3 messages from this election? One is, politically, psychologically, the BJP has grown. Its vote share has increased by 2-3%. The JDU has retained its vote share but has played a much smarter political game, so it's gained disproportionately far more than it would have otherwise. The RJD has held its ground in its core areas. It's retained its vote share about 0.2% down compared to last time, and the same as the 2024 election. What it tells you is it's only retained, which is the Yadav vote to most of it, and the Muslim vote. It's got its politics wrong completely.
Right.
You know, it's become a sectarian kind of party, if you like. So, and if you compare the 2 alliances, the NDA got its, firstly they did hard-nosed politics. You know, they took corrective measures administratively. Yeah. They got the right social matrix, and the opposition alliance, they didn't get the chemistry of the alliance right at all.
That's a very good point. Those questions will have to be asked. You wanted to make a point, ma'am.
Yeah. So going back to the reason why SIR became an issue for the opposition, we also have to, the question they ask is that why, why is states?
Well, the NDA is up at 180 now.
There's a change in electorate behavior as well.
Yeah.
Because I think 2024 Lok Sabha, I think there has been some kind of a spook in the electorate as well. I think that's why we see the numbers of people coming out to vote as well.
Okay, Mr. Shastri.
As you mentioned, the NDA is now moving to 181, and this typically happens as you come to the close of the election, where the one leading moves higher. You will notice the RJD has been coming down also.
This is an absolute whitewash, really. This is, I hate using that term tsunami because it's sort of associated with destruction, but this is a wave unprecedented.
Undoubtedly, it's a wave caused by a Bihar double-engine NDA.
And more voters coming in, more voters coming in, exercising a preference towards the NDA. This will appears as a massive shot in the arm.
Not just shot in the arm. I think there's a basic
Confidence.
issue with the Congress.
Yeah.
Power without proximity. They talk down to everybody. Early on, you would have the basics of, Janta Janardan hai, unke vote ko hum accept karte hain. Here, there is not even an acknowledgement that X number of crore people have exercised their mandate.
That's right.
That they've done well. They just come out with SIR.
Well,
I mean, it's like teaching the people what to do.
Let me tell our viewers, we have a bag of tricks that we are going to now unfold, which helps you visualize this data. And we're going to pull out some of our tools and we're going to show you where this election has been won or lost, depending on which side of the fence you're on, or why these leads are now going to take on perhaps a more definitive characteristic. I don't want to get ahead of myself because that's not the style at CNN News 18, but I think it would require now a rabbit emerging from the hat to say that this election outcome is going to reverse, because the gap is just too much now, isn't it? The gap is too much, Rahul Verma, for things to change dramatically. Even in 2015, things were still sort of up in the air, margins were small, a large number of seats had not been called, but here it appears that the counting has taken place quickly, and there doesn't seem to be that sort of lag.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think trends are going to reverse. You might see 10% movement here and there in terms of seat share, but usually what we have known that once a party takes a big lead or an alliance takes a big lead, there is a bump towards the end in favor of them. And so what we are heading to is perhaps 2010 kind of victory which BJP and JDU had together, or 2015 kind of a victory which Nistula was just pointing out when JDU was part of RJD. So it's a massive mandate and much more like
and that massive mandate is now reflecting. Let's just pull out those strike rates, big numbers. As I said, viewers, these are our bag of tricks, analytical tools that will help you understand this mandate a little better. 76% is a strike rate for the BJP. Almost similar, mirror image, the JDU, they're neck and neck within that alliance. Healthy competition, you can call it. The LJP, which we haven't projected, has also a great strike rate. Perhaps not as good as these two lead engines, but it has done its job of transferring a large number of votes into the BJP and the JDU, specifically the JDU. The JDU has doubled its numbers and more this particular election. So clearly, they got the chemistry right. The RJD, 27%, half of what it was in the last election in 2020. And that means that there has been a significant erosion of perhaps the other caste that had allied to it, or even the youth voter that many people believe would make Tejashwi the new face of the youth. Remember, in poll after poll, he was leading as the chief ministerial preference. Clearly, his own popularity, or what those polls suggested were his own popularity, has not knocked on to his party, which has big repercussions, not just for Bihar politics, but also for the RJD and the leadership and the Yadavs, the family at the top. The first family, Yadav family, big problem. And also the Congress, 18% strike rate, out of the game. At halfway, 122. Let's look at these numbers. You can see the cart coming around, the Likki Choka cart coming around, and it's going to give you the numbers there. The NDA at 181. There you can see it. The Likki Choka has been consumed today with great fanfare by the NDA, doing fantastically well at 181. Unprecedented. And let me now go back to our. I didn't see this coming. Amit Shah, in interview after interview, specifically to Rahul Joshi, the first one, made it very clear that he is expecting a 2/3. This is now in that territory.
Amit Shah in many interviews has said that he will not say lower than this, right?
This
As a party,
but this is a tough election. I mean, Bihar is a notoriously tough state to gauge.
Oh, true, but how can Amit Shah just say, oh, we will only get one more seat than the half mark, right? Amit Shah always has to say that we are winning 2/3 or third. So it's not that he alone could see it. I think once the exit poll came, there was always a possibility.
There was only one exit poll that went in this territory, and that was a Chanakya exit poll.
Exit pollsters.
And Chanakya read Chanakya.
I shouldn't say this, but most pollsters are not well trained to convert votes into seats properly.
Wow.
Especially if you don't weigh this kind of data with the gender differential turnout, then you could get any kind of number.
So previous elections in Bihar have been hyper-local. Many people have used this term. This time it doesn't seem to be.
You see, there was a narrative, at least in the English language section of the population, which suggested that Bihar is a dysfunctional state, that Bihar is actually going to collapse, that Bihar is like the old thing about Bihar being a state of mind, etc. Now, what these results show, increased turnout, no violence, a pretty emphatic victory, and a pretty emphatic rejection. All of these show that there is that dysfunctionality is not in. That what we are seeing in Bihar is that Bihar is gradually becoming more and more a normal state of the Indian Union. And to my mind, that's a huge achievement.
Huge achievement and responding once again.
Yes,
beating
it is
for the
responding,
NDA.
and I think that question still remains for the BJP. You know, this is the only Hindi-speaking state where they don't have a chief minister they haven't had a chief minister ever on their own. This is a handsome victory nevertheless, and as I was saying earlier, it looks like a 2015 mandate except for the other side, which is the NDA. That last time Mahagathbandhan had got it in 2015. There had been a lot of confidence, very quiet confidence from the NDA side through
but
that election.
One big preconceived notion, given the fact that there are 1 in 4 voters are youth voters, Nalin, that the youth was not responding, that Gen Z was not responding to the BJP. Perhaps the Prime Minister has lost his connection with the Gen Z voter, that Gen Z is going to now lead this country.
Gen Z, I think, still had a generational trauma from 20 years ago. I think they've channeled that.
I think this is not just Gen Z reacting to Jungle Raj. I think this is Gen Z reacting to the promise of Sushasan Raj.
And
that's important.
With this kind of a mandate, you can't question that at all. I mean, and who are the extra voters who came in? Women and the young. And they are in the areas where these votes increase, the voting pattern is very clear. I think 3 messages from the election. First is, Nitish is undoubtedly the big story of this election. The resurrection of Nitish Kumar, right? Remember 7-8 months ago, people were talking about his health, people were talking about this being his last election, people were saying that he could be removed as chief minister, all of that. So his resurrection is a big story. Second, I think, is the JDU may well face, in the not immediately, but in the next, say, 12 months to 24 months to 36 months, an existential crisis. Because you have not won, this is the second election they've lost in a row.
RJD, you mean?
I mean the RJD, sorry.
Yes.
Thank you for correcting me on that. And the third, on PK, somebody just sent me a joke saying, have the total votes polled by Jan Swaraj Party in the entire Bihar election exceeded the number of interviews given by Prashant Kichor in the last 3 months.
Well, obviously the people who do this are supporters of the BJP. Believe that, look, we have a situation where you cannot have an alternative to the development vision that is being offered.
The trend is clear, Rahul.
Look,
The BJP is structurally growing.
So the reason that many people will lament the fact that PK hasn't grown is because he tried to generate an aspirational vote or create an aspirational vote bank beyond caste.
He did, and
I think unfortunately the alternative was then clarified in favor of the NDA.
Okay, yes, you were making that point, Nalin. I think you got.
I was saying that Saket has been making the point since the morning that PK may not have got the votes, but he was very instrumental in damaging the credibility of Tejashwi Yadav in this campaign.
How?
Right. That's
Just because he basically said that Tejashwi has no agenda, capability to actually rule.
In terms of election planning, I want to go back to what Rahul was also saying, that imagine how right the NDA got it, that the also is very identical to the number of seats currently showing for both JDU as well as BJP. And for PK, I want to go back and say that becoming a neta is his Achilles heel. So he takes emotional decisions out of nervousness many times because he desperately wants to become a politician.
Okay, Mr. Shastri.
Yes. Everybody has been talking about the Mahila and Yuva factor. Beyond a shadow of doubt, it has played a role, but that's not the only 2 factors that seem to have played a role. Otherwise, you would not have had such a massive mandate. So, Mahila, Yuva, yes, but other than that, I think voters who have certain expectations of this government.
Well, I also believe that traditional RJD voters may have actually begun to peel away, which is that is the reason there's this existential crisis.
RJD has been able to hold on to its base.
But friends and viewers, just look at this. I'm going to break this down according to our filters so we can actually deep dive this data a little bit. Phase 1. Here you see phase 1 data, and if you can just cut to this screen, and we're going to project it up there also on our big screen. Look at phase 1. These are the seats that went to polls the first. It was split exactly half-half. About 122 seats went to polls for the first phase. And in 2020, you saw in the first phase in the 2025 Vidhan Sabha 121, you had a whole bunch of seats. This is the 2020 phase 1. There you saw the NDA done pretty decently up there. But if you look at this by years and filters, and now you have a look at this phase 1 data, and you look at the numbers, again, there's a gain. So there's this gain that has taken place, which perhaps was not thought through by the opposition. Now let's have a look at some of the other filters. Let me look at the migrant factor, because this is an important one. And this is a factor that I need to just get into 2024 here, just forward, look forward. Yes, that's the 2020 migrant factor. 1 second. Yeah, sorry.
Just change 2020.
Yeah. There you go. Where's the 2025? I'm not the best at this, but I'll come back to this actually. I'll just come back to this. I'll get my coordinates right on this particular wall. Zach, we're missing him here very much, but I will try and come out to 2025.
Yeah, go to the years, it's in
there
the
it
middle,
is.
the filter.
There it is. That's the 2025 overall number. You can see the gains, 59, and you can look at the topography of this state as of now. And if you really play that number and you have a look at it, that's the overall. And you can see that the gains have been spread quite across. So the NDA doing fantastically well, but their gains have across the state. There is no real pocket where they haven't had an impact. The India, patchy, very patchy, all those big seats there, just a few. You have even in Simanchal a number of seats that have sort of not polled for them in the way that they were expecting. So you have a situation where these particular seats that were considered sure shot seats in Simanchal, not quite even opening for the India bloc. And you can see those, it's the swath of green, and on this is Simanchal. This is where they really do fantastically well. That hasn't quite happened, and you can see that on your screens. And here in the Bhojpur region, you still have a bit of a consolidation, Rahul Verma, for the opposite side, the MGB, the India Alliance. But even here, pockets of green and saffron emerging.
So last time also, the phase, the portion that you are showing right now was the phase 1 of election in 2020, and the Mahagathbandhan had done better there in 2020 as well. And that not only that RJD has its presence, but also left parties have presence there, and so those two sort of like voting bloc combined gives Mahagathbandhan some advantage in those districts.
Well, look at the Muslim dominated seats, and Swapan Dasgupta, this is something that I want you to focus on for just a few moments. Look at those numbers. In the Muslim dominated, the NDA picking up 13, and some of these seats, Muslims, I'm not saying those seats have shifted, but the India falling back. So even the Congress's politics here hitting a roadblock.
Well, let me just say, I think there is a tendency on the part of analysts to overemphasize the Muslim votes. And the Muslims certainly vote, but they are not the ones who vote.
Yeah.
And in this case, what is important is that here we see a counter consolidation, which has always been the approach of the BJP. And to what extent OIC and others may have shaved away a little bit, I don't know. The statistics will point out.
Well, we'll have to break down those
numbers.
And
I think turnout will also be a determinant in this factor. But the entire strategy of the Mahagathbandhan to base their entire calculations on what happens in Purnia and Kishanganj and Katihar, to my mind, is a bit flawed because it has its repercussions elsewhere.
Yeah.
Muslim seats, to add to what Swapan was saying, even last time, out of the 53 Muslim-dominated seats, the NDA won 29 and the India Alliance won 19 because of counter-mobilization.
Yeah.
But I want to make one more point. There is a seat called Shior with a per capita income of 19,000 rupees, one of the poorest districts in the country. Even there, the JDU is winning, and that if that's an example or that's an illustrator, it kind of shows that even there, the Mahagathbandhan or the RJD is not being seen as an alliance that can deliver on growth or on jobs. And I think that is quite an illustrative factor.
Tuhin Sinha joins this broadcast. On that point also, let me go across to him. He's of course the national spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Tuhin Sinha, what do you owe this victory to? The Congress, your opponents have come out and said two things. Number one, that the Election Commission even now is only projecting one set of data, which is where the BJP and the JDU are leading, number one. And number two, most importantly, they're saying that this was a vote that has been stolen by the Election Commission. Your reactions to this?
Good morning, Rahul. Good morning, everybody. Historic day for Bihar. And the one message which is very clear is that our my factor, Mahila Yuva, is far more potent than the cliched my factor of RJD Congress alliance. But I'm glad you mentioned, the Congress's perpetual loser behavior, the way they have been maligning institutions, the way they have been casting aspersions, this time 3 months before the elections. There are two factors which have been at play over here.
Okay.
Number one, the pro-incumbency factor. The pro-incumbency factor, people are habituated to, a progressive government that Bihar has seen in the last 21 years. But at the same time, there is an anger brewing against RJD Congress for their negative politics, for Rahul Gandhi's, petty behavior, the way he, frivolously talks about Chhat Puja, the flippancy, the charges, the allegations against institutions which have not been proved. So unless the RJD and Congress take note of this anger, they will be diminished further. But yes, finally, it's an endorsement of more.
Okay, so let me bring in Surjit Bhalla also on this. But viewers, on your screens right now, we are showing you the projection of how the assembly is going to look like if things stand. 183 NDA sweep of Bihar, the India down to 55. And you can see here, friends, that this is going to be a very big problem. This is going to be a very big problem for the India bloc to justify. They're going to have to come out and say to their... They aren't talking about the state of Bihar. That's done and dusted. Now I'm talking 5 states that are going to the polls. But let's look at the India numbers, the NDA numbers: 183, JDU 79, BJP 78, neck and neck, LJP 20, HAM 4, RLM 3. The bit players adding up, they're the all-rounders. The tail has, it's a long tail. The India bloc, apart from its opener, the RJD, which has sort of blown its chances, everyone else either in single digits or barely over double. I want to go straight across to Surjit Bhalla because the BJP national spokesperson says this is a positive incumbency vote. 20 years and Nitish is increasing his footprint in Bihar. Mr. Bhalla, we do look at the micro data and that suggests not enough jobs have been created in Bihar over the last 20 years. Many new industries that could have come up have sort of given Bihar the go-by. Yet you have this verdict. How do you explain it from an economist's point of view who looks at these numbers and then also looks at social behavior?
Look, is and has been the poorest state in the country for decades. At the same time, if you look at their ranking, and UP has been the second poorest state, but Bihar has actually gained on UP over the last 20 years. So that's the